boy.
What's up?
Let's go. Schultz's here, for God's sakes, for 4 more days.
Yeah.
Let's make the best of it.
Big announcement.
Yeah.
Schultz, how are you?
Good. Appreciate you guys. Happy Monday. I mean, I'm stressed, but I'm good.
Why are you stressed? What's the matter?
Dealing with car issues. My brakes are going out. I got grinding going on.
damn it.
Nobody cares, but my life is a
You're
mess.
right.
Nobody gives an
Wait,
S.
your life's a mess because you have brake problems?
Well, it's our one car, so that it is kind of, unfortunately, we're not a 2-car fan.
Do you really need brakes? Just slow down.
That's a fair point.
Just steer into it. It's all right.
Okay.
I still feel like it's first world problems.
It is. Like I said,
You know?
nobody cares. So I'm happy to be here. We're going good.
Yeah, you mentioned it there.
It's a countdown. 4 more days.
This is his last week with us.
Yes, not even a full week.
And then
I don't know how to deal with it, quite
on
frankly.
Friday,
Getting all
Ryan
emotional.
Buckley will be back. He is actually our real producer. He's coming back. His baby, or I don't know, does he have a baby?
He's got a baby.
His wife had a baby.
Well, I guess
he's been out.
I think it's his baby too. I mean, I don't know if we've had a test to prove that, but
I heard it was Steve Nash's baby.
Can you take 12 weeks off if you're a baby like daddy, but it's not your baby?
Well, as long as they don't know that it's your daddy.
Hey, that's a good question. If you adopt a baby, do you get?
I think an adoption, clear cut, yes, but like I'm thinking more of a Maury Povich situation. Like you are not the father, but he thought he was. I don't know.
Can they go back and retroactively dock your pay if it turns out you are not the father?
That's a great question.
No, because he's still caring for the stupid thing, right?
But it's not yours. I don't think I can just I don't think I now get 12 weeks. So Buckley's coming back. I don't think we can tag team this. I don't think it's like the Hart Foundation where now I get to go take care of Buckley's kid for 12 weeks and I get paid. I don't think that's the way that works.
Well, Buckley's back on Friday.
Yes.
Whether it's his kid or not.
Rest in peace, Schultze.
Yeah,
but then
I don't know what's going to happen with Schultze now.
But then Dirt is taking his Dirt's on baby watch, so maybe Schultze slides in for Dirt.
Are you going to be the?
I would love to do that. I'm assuming though. I mean, we got to give Swag an opportunity to be on the mic a lot, so we'll see. We'll see if
do? Do we?
I think
it's been like 40 years.
I
think that opportunity may have come.
Yeah, I mean he's got plenty of.
Well, I think he's like 53. If you're 53 and you're like, we need an opportunity, I'm just saying.
Hey, I hear you, but I don't think I'll be there every day. But hopefully, I can slide in there with Sprague, and we can have some fun in the mornings. So yeah.
Well, don't crash your car on the way to the morning show.
Steer into the skid. Give yourself plenty of time to slow down. Maybe invest in a parachute or I don't know, some sort of bungee cord system. You'll get it figured out.
Well, yeah. We'll hope that we live until then.
WD-40. I don't know how brakes work.
Well, I will enjoy every bit of Jordan Schultz.
Yeah.
For this entire week.
Enjoy him while you can. Get a taste, because after that, the forbidden fruit, it's gone.
And I expect multiple rants about random things that you had no idea he was so passionate about.
I know.
I want 2 more of those at least before we...
That may be the thing I miss most about Schultze is there'll be a random aviation thing or he just starts going off on it. You're like, what? Some sort of aeronautical thing. He just, the random hot button where that's just been boiling for like a good 6 to 7 years. And now he just gets to lance the boil.
I appreciate you guys. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm not for everybody, but
I think this job keeps him from shooting up some, there's a lot of built up tension there. Maybe that's what we need to do to solve the violence is everyone just needs a podcast. Then you can go on there and yell about whatever you want.
Well, rest in peace, Schultze.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I love you. And 3 more days before I rest in peace, all right?
All right.
Like the ghost of Christmas present.
Let's make it strong.
Good luck with that.
Let's make it strong. Buckley, who had terrible picks again.
He's not. He's
1 in 5.
Ouch.
Last weekend.
He was doing so well.
Yeah. Well, he's not anymore.
He was coming on strong.
No. Big weekend. A lot of football. Hope you enjoyed it.
It was the best weekend of football of the year.
Because
everyone always says the super wild card, but the wild card often is a giant dud. But the divisional round's the meat and potatoes. It's the best football weekend of the year, in my opinion. And
Division I football.
It lived up to it, with the exception of Baltimore-Houston, which was still a good game for a half. But other than that, dude, it was bananas.
It's good.
It was fantastic.
Well, that's the whole thing about the NFL, man. I mean, even if you get a blowout, it can be pretty compelling.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. There's something about that league that in 3 weeks when we're watching, I don't know, UConn play Marquette.
Yeah.
And that's our big you know, that's our big sports moment.
That's what we got
for the weekend. Well, that's what that I always get depressed this time of year because I love football so much.
I love it so much.
It's given so much to me.
Yeah, and
it hasn't given anything.
It has so very little in return.
Still though, I love it. I love watching it. It's almost over.
I know,
and that's a long haul.
It is.
Once we get past the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you got to get to Masters weekend, and then pitchers and catchers, and you wander through the desert. And
breaking news. I don't know if you guys know, nor do you probably care. You don't know, and you probably don't care. But I will be attending Sunday at the Masters this year.
You're right there out of town.
That's right.
You got the final round badge?
Yes.
Because you've been to the Masters, but you were not there on Sunday.
Nope.
Was it via lottery? Is that how you get it?
Oh, no. He's got some sort of angle that he's worked.
One of our fine listeners has stepped up for me again. Move over, Masters Pete.
Masters Pete, you're old news. We've moved past you.
Yeah, I think that.
Who are we on to now? Are we naming names?
No, I shouldn't unless he wants that. But he goes every year. And I'm not really sure how, but he does. And he
don't ask questions.
He doesn't like going on Sunday. Sunday's kind of an S show, and I've heard that. It's the final round, so
sure.
But I don't care, so I'll be going.
So you just go for that one day
at the Masters, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll go down.
Well, we'll circle some golf around it. Play some golf down
there. But you
there.
will be on the grounds just for Sunday.
Correct.
There's nothing wrong. I know that's an S show, but to me, if you're going to be there for one day, be there on Sunday. Are you posting up on 18?
Well, the routine there. I talked about this when we went last time.
You got to set up your.
You get the chairs, and you get little chairs, and you can go put them wherever you want on the course, and nobody will sit in them.
Yeah,
and then you can go walk the course, follow group, do whatever you want, and then go back to your chairs when it's time.
Yeah.
So 18, I don't know. Because it's usually.
Yeah, but I mean, to be there, finish.
18's tough. It's crazy on 18, but maybe 16. The little par 3.
Yeah,
of the water there.
Yeah,
that's a good one to set up shop at.
Well, I'm excited for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, but what are we going to do between February 11th and April 14th?
You like to drink?
I do.
I like to drink. I think that. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Just drink.
Try to pretend to care about college basketball? I don't know.
Well, I do kind of.
NFL draft? Well, I mean, now with my BYU Cougars and our 4 white guys and an Egyptian.
Yeah.
Now we're in the Big 12. We got the big Kansas-BYU matchup right around that time, like late February. We'll do some NFL draft stuff. We'll freak out about, Caleb Williams versus Drake May.
See, that's the other thing about the NFL. Keeps on giving, It's like.
It just goes.
We will. We'll go right into combine. And
then you got Harbaugh get hired somewhere, and Bill Belichick apparently hates the Falcons president.
We got the coaches hires.
There'll be plenty of stuff.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're making me feel good.
Some NFL player will be a jackass, and he'll do Stephon Diggs will do something stupid. Give it time. We're fine.
Yeah, he seems like kind of a bonehead.
Seems like.
I have a thing about elite wide receivers kind of sucking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
my new thing.
As people or
no,
as just players in general?
They're overrated. All of them. Almost all of them. I mean, think about it.
It's a bold statement.
It is. But this is my new hot take.
Justin Jefferson, just overrated.
See, he's not.
Oh.
Although he was hurt a lot.
He was hurt a lot.
A.J. Brown didn't even play in his game.
No, he was hurt.
Didn't even play.
No.
He could have played. Nico Collins, I didn't even see him out there on Saturday. As far as I'm concerned, Mike Evans had a good game, but dude, he's been dropping a lot of balls these last couple weeks. He has. He dropped a couple big ones against who'd they play last week?
I love that this is your new.
That's my new thing.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. He had. I mean, it's like, dude, how much are they paying you? That first interception was on him.
I love that this is coming out of this weekend. This is the stance.
And then Stephon Diggs. What are they paying that guy? Freaking Josh Allen put it right on the nose.
Yeah.
And a critical point in the game, and the guy missed it.
Well, there would have been, obviously, it would have been plenty of time. And, Patrick Mahomes would have ripped the hearts out of Buffalo fans everywhere. It was bound to happen. But Stephon Diggs did ruin what could have been a top 3 to 5 throw in NFL history. Josh Allen threw that thing from the 11-yard line. And Stephon Diggs missed it at about the 25 to 24.
I have another one.
and then the defender was falling down. He walks in.
Yeah, dude.
That goes down,
What do you
especially if they win.
What do you want Josh Allen to do?
I want him to not short arm the next touchdown throw that he had, but still.
Dude, that was it. It was right there. He did it.
It was bad.
He put it right where it needed to be, and freaking Diggs, their main guy,
Yeah.
can't catch it. That guy missed balls all day.
And
here's another one. CD freaking Lamb. All that guy does is shrink in the playoffs.
This is
I rest my case.
This is a Schultzy, Stephen A, Shannon Sharp. You need to go on Club Shay Shay now.
I'm tired of them.
And just start blasting people.
I'm tired of elite prima donna receivers.
That's it. Rob's got a new fly. Well, this was the Patriots thing. No more elite receivers.
That's right.
Nothing but journeymen.
Give me N'Keal Harry. Or is that his name? Or Henry?
Yeah. Give me all journeyman receivers, and that's all you need.
I'll tell you what, whoever that other receiver was for the Bills managed to catch the ball all the time.
I love this.
You know I'm not wrong.
I love this. Well, you might be wrong.
I don't know. Adam Thielen for the Panthers called. I think he'd have something to say about being the only option as like a 12-year
Adam
vet.
Thielen?
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Where did you come up with Adam Thielen?
You said.
Are you saying he's elite
Have you
or
seen
not?
Adam Thielen in Carolina?
That's kind of my point. I think that's kind of the situation that you're pointing out. Like, we just need mediocre receivers. That's what you're left with.
No, I want reliable receivers, not mediocre. If you're gonna pay
sort of reliable.
if you're gonna pay $20 million a year to these numbnuts, catch the damn ball.
I will say that it's most of the time, I think what you're talking about is the biggest malcontent on any football team is almost always the wide receiver. It lends itself to that. Wide receivers and DBs like to chirp. And when you are going to be the guy that chirps more than anyone else, Stephon Diggs, you chirped your way out of Minnesota. Some might say you were a bitch. And then you end up in Buffalo with one of the better quarterbacks in the league. You've had tremendous success there in Buffalo. Your numbers are fantastic, although they dipped a little bit. But Stephon Diggs has been supremely compensated in Buffalo on the field and off the field. Last year, I believe he had more targets than any player in the NFL, and yet somehow that still wasn't enough for him. And so if you're going to run your mouth, and then in the biggest moments, as you said, you shrink, it looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible when you're the biggest malcontent, always bitching. And look, again, not to say that they win that game if he does, and it's not just the only pass he dropped, as you pointed out, he just didn't show up at all. But when you drop what would have been the go-ahead score, and then it would have been upon your defense to hold Mahomes, no one wants to hear it. Like from now on, the next time you raise your voice, they're going to point back at you. In fact, if I'm a betting man, because the Bills have a bit of a salary cap kerfuffle, and the salary cap can be manipulated, but in order for that to happen, you've got to double down on almost everybody. You have to go through and restructure just like half your team and commit to that be your team going forward. And I don't know if Buffalo's willing to do that, but I do think that there's a real possibility that Diggs played his last game in Buffalo, that you're in a salary cap pinch, your production went down, you're never happy, there's always something going on, and you shrunk in the biggest game of your life. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Stephon Diggs is playing somewhere else next year.
Give me Puka Nacua. Give me Romeo Dobbs. Give me those guys all day.
Well, and
then when you get paid,
well, and this goes down. We used to always say this just about running backs.
That's my new thing.
And I do think that there is an element going around now where receivers and backs are both going to be kind of viewed this way that,
hey man,
do you want to pay a guy? And to be
what
fair,
do they make? 20?
20 plus.
Yeah.
Like Tyreek Hill is worth it.
You better bring down the damn ball.
You better be Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has been worth every penny that Miami paid him.
That's right.
But for every Tyreek Hill or for every, I'm trying to think of someone else, like let's take even Cooper Kupp. Now I know some of that's been injury, but Cooper Kupp was not the best receiver on his team. And if you're having to make tough decisions and you've got one guy, Puka Nacua, making no money and Kupp making a ton, there's just there is a lot of receivers that, much like running backs used to be, got paid a lot of money and they don't necessarily live up to it.
Thank you so much. You agree with me. I'm out.
AJ Brown was worth every penny this year, right up until the end.
I'm leaving. Well, the end is the most important part.
That's the whole
point.
Part. Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And then there was one other guy. I will say I have to back off on one guy, only one, and that's Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Dude's a beast.
And believe me, I was watching his ass, and I was watching his ass closely. But you know what? He lived up to it. He's fine.
He's got blue hair, but that dude is a beast.
And I think Nico's excellent too. It's just, against that defense, I don't know.
They weren't able to
I feel like that wasn't really his fault. Evans dropping balls.
Yes.
Diggs dropping balls.
Yeah.
Brown not playing. CD Lamb. Ooh. God, bunch of babies. All right, we're off to a good start.
And Brown, by the way, he's still on the rookie deal. So,
trade his ass.
So what we're saying is, so St. Brown is maybe the most underappreciated receiver in the NFL. So we're saying is
Puka Nacua.
Well, but he's a rookie. I mean, you got to do it more than 1 year. But and by the way, Puka, this was the one that St. Brown was pissed. Puka made the Pro Bowl over St. Brown. So look, this is one of those weird things that St. Brown has been an absolute beast. And the moment he gets paid, according to Rob, right in the toilet.
Keep an eye on it.
It does happen.
Because I tell you what, Josh Reynolds, that guy's money.
Yeah.
On the other side.
Yeah.
He's great. Why? I don't know, but he's not.
I love this hot take.
He's not Stephon Diggs.
It's fantastic.
Prima donna bitch.
There will not, I don't think you will find.
And no, they did not cost me money. I didn't bet on them.
No, but you won't find a worse drop in a worse moment than that play. He forever, if he has
he could drop every other catch.
Yeah, if you had and he kind of did. If you have any common sense, he will never pipe up again about being unhappy, which he won't.
All right, let's get to our NFL playoff plums. You want to do that?
Let's do it.
We're going to talk some NFL playoffs next on The Fan. Little football weekend. We love our football. And so we're going to talk about it. Why not?
What else we do?
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark taking charges.
She did get leveled.
No, she didn't.
Oh, dude, she got leveled.
You haven't seen.
I have seen. I watched the video. She got freaking leveled.
No, she didn't.
What do you mean?
There's a bunch of different angles. She flopped so.
You're calling that a flop?
It is the biggest flop. Like Vlade Divac thinks she flopped. Yusuf Nurkic thinks she flopped.
Let me see here.
Yeah, there's other angles of it where the girl doesn't really even touch her, and Clark spins out of it and then shoves the girl and then does the whirly bird and falls down. European players everywhere are like, wow, that's impressive. She's got to try out for the Thorns later on. It's really bad. It is not a good look.
Yeah, I see what you're saying here.
It's bad.
That looked
And then
looked bad.
It looked bad at the original, and then she laid on the ground for a while. Come on, Caitlin, we love you. You're America's sweetheart. You're the new Sabrina Ionescu, but that
a little bit of a dive.
is not a good look.
Oh, and then she gets carried off like
Yeah.
she has to be helped off.
It's so bad.
Wow.
It's so bad.
Like,
yeah.
do we not like her anymore? Is that
No.
Do we have to hate her now?
No, we don't have to hate her, but it's someone. If her teammates have any sort of, if they have any sort of gumption, I was going to say something else. I was like, wait, women's basketball players, every single one of them is absolutely mocking her inside that locker room.
Well, if you didn't see that,
they're like, really?
which you probably didn't,
No.
but it was Iowa-Ohio State women's game.
Yeah.
And Caitlin Clark, Ohio State beat them.
Yeah.
So they upset them.
Yeah.
So they stormed the court, and some dumb fan filming themselves,
Bumped into her.
a girl,
Yeah.
ran into her, and it did look, from the aerial, it looked like, man, she got plowed.
Yeah.
But boy, you're right. Looking again.
Caitlin like, I've been shot. I'm down.
Very European soccer.
Look, I can't move my arm. I broke it.
Well, anyway, who cares
Yeah.
about that?
Whatever. Football, for God's sakes.
Yeah, we had 4 games, if you guys saw that, but there were 4 of them.
3 were great.
One of them was a blowout.
Yep.
The other 3 were great. I thought that the road teams in the NFC, boy, I mean, they had those games. They had them. Green Bay had them.
Yeah.
Tampa had them.
I wouldn't say Tampa had them. Green Bay had them.
Boy, Tampa had them. Tampa had the ball. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's another thing about receivers. Okay, let's go back to that.
We're back to Rob's hot take of receivers.
Well,
are
Mike
bums.
Evans missed the first ball, and I get Baker's got a little Brett Favre where he fires it in there, but you're Mike Evans. They pay you $18 million.
He also made an amazing catch in the end zone. where
Again,
elevated.
he had a good game, but that first miss off of his hands was an interception that was enormous.
Yeah.
And that was his fault. Then you get, this is why I say Tampa had that game. You get to where Jared Goff literally tosses them the ball in the end zone. He threw an interception in the end zone.
Yep.
Tampa dropped it.
Well, and Green Bay had 2. One of them would have been a pick six, a walk-in.
Well, and Green Bay's was even worse because there's that, but also they still, with all that said, they had the ball up 4 with about 8 minutes left, driving to score a tutty.
Yeah. What ended?
And they lost.
Yep.
So I think both of those teams had it. Jared Goff tried to give it to him. Tampa guy dropped it. Now that guy, I'm going to give a little bit of a pass to, even though it still drives me crazy when, I don't know if he was a linebacker or a DB. I think he might have been a DB, but he drops that. I mean, it was right to him in his hands. When DBs or linebackers drop clear, easy picks, it's maddening.
You know what's weird is
but they're also not receivers, so you understand it. It's worse when the receiver actually drops it.
I'm not going to say it's every game, but the vast majority of games, there is at least one of these where you're like, just hold on to the ball. And this game is over. Well, and that's the nature of football. There's on both sides of the ball, you can almost always point to one in a close game, not Baltimore, Houston, but when it's a 1-score game, there's usually, and they say this all the time, there's anywhere from 4 to a half dozen plays that determine the game.
Well, that's why we love it, right? It's so fun because you've got so many what ifs.
Yep.
The day after, like what if on Josh Allen? What if Jordan Love? What if Baker Mayfield? I mean, these games are 3 of those 4 games were so close, they could have gone either way.
Yep.
And I just don't know that any other sport really has that. I think one of it's just the nature of the sport. It's football, and there's only so many possessions.
Yep. Well, like that was the thing in Buffalo.
NBA, it's just back and forth and up and down. There's one of hundreds of plays you could, if it comes down to the wire, that you could cite.
But I think in that to your point, I think in that Buffalo, I gotta bring it up. But that second half, I want to say each team had 3, maybe 4 possessions.
I mean, and that's it.
So when you
one tip ball into the fingers of the other team, or into the hands off your finger and into the hands of the other team, changes everything. So that in those games, all 3 were like that.
Yeah,
and that's why I say I think Tampa had it. I feel like Green Bay certainly
had it. I mean, the pick 6
and Buffalo had a chance.
It would have ended. Yeah, Buffalo had 4 possessions, so they scored. Kansas City got the ball coming out of the half, and they scored, and then Buffalo goes down and scores, retakes the lead. Kansas City goes down and scores, and that's when we had the god awful fake punt. Which, by the way, if not for the Buffalo,
you didn't like that. You like that? You didn't like the fake punt?
Were they just trying to do a DeMar Hamlin?
They were doing bits.
Is that what we're doing here?
Is that a good time to do bits?
We're like, hey, we're not certain that DeMar is going to get comeback player of the year, so we want to make sure.
You like that? You like that?
Like what? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was bad.
But if you are,
but they survived.
If you're Sean McDermott,
well, that part they survived.
You survived. If you're Sean McDermott, I gotta tread carefully here. I'm not saying that you're happy that Bass missed the kick, but it takes you off the hook, because if Sean McDermott, if was it Hardman that fumbled the ball through the end zone?
I think it was Hardman.
Yeah, it was Hardman, I think. If Hardman doesn't fumble that ball, then the Bass stuff never happens. Mm-hmm. And we're all looking at dumbass Sean McDermott and saying that is the stupidest thing in the history of playoff football. You got a 3-point game, right? You're coming off a touchdown. Josh Allen is still rolling at that point, and you decide from your own 35 on 4th and 5 to run a fake punt? When they're in punt, like what? And by the way, there was only 10 guys on the field, and they stopped you. Like, what are you doing? So he got bailed out. He so got bailed out between the fumble and the missed kick. Because we say all the time, that's the sort of game that gets someone fired. And by the way, it may get him fired anyways. But if it wasn't for that fumble through the end zone, his ass is getting fired because he decided to fake that punt.
Yeah, so the Bass didn't really let him off the hook.
The fumble did. Hardman did. Yeah.
But yeah, that leads us to our poll question. Let me throw that in here. AAA Heating and Cooling, family business, helping families for over 60 years. AAAIAQ.com. It is on X at 1080 The Fan. Today we're asking you which franchise would be best served to fire its coach. You have Dallas and Mike McCarthy, Bills, Sean McDermott, Blazers, Chauncey Billups. What? Or Lakers, Darvin Ham.
What are you talking about, man? The Blazers just got done beating the Indiana Pacers.
How about that?
They're rolling.
Well, you must not have seen last night's game.
Oh, I saw it. Well, I saw of it.
So vote hard. And then Friday we said, we asked you, who is the 4th best quarterback in these playoffs? Brock Purdy got 34%. Yeah. Jared Goff, 28%. CJ Stroud, 26%. So it was very close. Jordan Love, 12%.
Yeah, the Brock Purdy stuff, like that, he just will never be accepted by the the NFL public.
It's not like he played great.
No, he did not.
But of all the quarterbacks that we're going to talk about, who had the opportunity to win their team the game or help their team win the game, Brock Purdy's the only one that actually did it.
Can we all point out the fact that it was literally a torrential downpour monsoon?
Yeah. And that bothered him. You could tell. Oh, well, he even said it.
He's got small hands. Yeah. He does. He got baby hands.
Cabbage hands.
And there were multiple times, I love that term, that in the middle of the play, he took his hand off the ball to try to wipe his hand because he didn't have a grip on the football. He tried gloves. Clearly, that didn't work, right? He had an issue throwing the ball. Can we also admit that Jordan Love, who has big hands and is a physical specimen, Jordan Love played like poo too. Why? Because throwing in those conditions, unless you're Patrick Mahomes, who's unaffected by anything, that guy, it's hard to do. And yet we're going to sit here and say that Jordan Love, and by the way, I think Green Bay's future is very bright. I think Jordan Love played really well the final 8 games of the season, and there's a lot to like there. And so you have to like that. But if we're going to sit there and say that Jordan Love is a franchise quarterback and that he's about to be one of the most expensive players in the NFL, but he struggled to play in those conditions. And Brock Purdy also did the same thing, but Brock Purdy actually led the game-winning drive. Meanwhile, Jordan Love threw the world's worst interception. If Stephon Diggs had the worst attempt at a catch in a big moment, I've been watching the NFL professionally for 20 plus years, and Tony Romo is king of the interception that he did this at least 5 times in big games where I could look at it and say, I don't know what he was doing. I can understand you trying to, like Baker's last interception. I understand what he was doing. It was a poor decision. But I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to force the ball, tight window, thought he could do it, end of the game. That's fine. I can live with that. Bad decision, but I can live with it. It makes sense what he was trying to do. Tony Romo would throw balls that I would look at and be like, and anyone that's been in a film room has this. I've done this, where a coach will look at me and be like, hey, fat ass, Sakanik, what'd you call here? I'm like, I don't know, coach. What do you mean you don't know? I don't remember what I called. Can you look at the film and tell me what you called? No, that doesn't make any sense. But you went left here, right? Yeah. Which way should you have gone? The other way. Why didn't you? I don't have there's no excuse. Romo did that. Jordan Love's interception will be that on the film. There is not one explanation that someone can give me for that ball on first down, what he was attempting to do. I'm trying to remember who it was. Someone said it the best thing. He threw into a coaches meeting. He threw into a coaches meeting. The defensive coordinator was there. You had the linebackers coach. I think it was Mark Sanchez. He threw into the middle of 4 guys late. I don't know who he was trying to throw the ball to. So Jordan Love came out of that game like, well, franchise quarterback, pay him $50 million. Brock Purdy leaves that game, and by the way, his numbers were better than Jordan Love's, and we're going to say that Brock Purdy's a bum and that he can't win. It's infuriating. And
well, he did win. I don't know who says he can't win. He just did.
Exactly. And yet
in one of his worst games.
Yes. And yet we're like, Brock Purdy sucks. It's so stupid.
Well, I don't hear a lot of. I don't know. I don't hear that.
That was almost every national talking head.
I feel like he gets. Well, I don't listen to those blowhards. I listen to my own blowhardedness. Those guys are all just trying to get clicks and viewers. But Brock Purdy's good. He just had a bad game. By the way, somebody mentioned Purdy and Mahomes' hands are the same size. I looked that up. Pretty close to true.
Well, then his little cabbage hands need to do a better job of handling it. Or Mahomes is just a different animal. And by
that's why Purdy dropped in the draft. It's not that he was going to be like a first round pick or
anything.
Didn't
have all the measurables.
But he has short arms and small hands.
Yeah.
But looking it up, Patrick Mahomes 9 1/4 as well on the hand thing.
He handles it. No, doesn't matter what weather conditions.
But hey,
and we can also say this:
Purdy drove his team down, and they got the
give him credit
game-winning score. The other quarterbacks couldn't do that. I mean, Mayfield's interception. I get what you're saying. That
is bad.
It was horrible.
But at least
that's Baker that was right on cue.
Yes.
And Jordan Love kind of was too. That one was awful.
Yeah.
It's just, rookie, he'll learn from that. That's kind of one of those things where you say you kind of need to learn how to win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And one of the things in the myriad of things that Jordan Love will have maybe learned in these 2 games that they played was that and just the risks.
Hey, it's first down, Jordan. Like, you know what? You can just skip that ball or run with it. You don't.
But Baker, he has shown us enough.
He's a gunslinger.
That's just what he does.
He's a poor man's Brett Favre with a big arm, and he thinks he can make all the throws, and he tried to squeeze one in.
But anyway.
And my Motor City Kitties made him pay for it.
Yeah, the Motor City Kitties are on to. Although there's another thing about that game. Okay, so we're all over the place. Right?
I know.
We are all over the place.
There's so much good.
Slow
football.
down.
So much.
There's one other thing in the Bucs game that we have to discuss.
Yeah.
Because I think if any other coach did this, they're getting absolutely murdered today.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know where you're going with this.
Absolutely murdered. But this guy, we don't care. I don't know why. It's we're so weird.
Yeah.
We'll get to that next. But first, Schultze with SportsCenter.
Now, from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction. Check out their award-winning outdoor living designs or schedule your free design consultation at vulcandc.com. First on the Fan, breaking news in the NFL this afternoon. The Carolina Panthers announcing they're promoting assistant GM Dan Morgan to be their next general manager. He's been in Carolina since 2021, as well as spending time in Seattle and Buffalo. as the director of player personnel. Moving on, NFL Network reporting the Lions are signing tight end Zach Ertz to their practice squad. They do plan to elevate him to the active roster for Sunday's game against the 49ers. That's, of course, after Brock Wright injured his forearm in yesterday's win over Tampa Bay. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting that Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh is expected to meet with the Los Angeles Chargers for a second time regarding their head coach opening. And one day after firing defensive coordinator Sean Desai, The Athletic reports that the Eagles are interviewing former Commanders head coach Ron Rivera to fill that vacancy. NFL Network also reporting the Bears are hiring Seahawks offensive coordinator Shane Waldron to fill the same position in Chicago. And in the association, the Blazers taking a day off, licking their wounds after losing on the road to the Lakers last night, heading to Oklahoma City to face off against the Thunder tomorrow. Portland currently 12-30, good for the 5th worst record in the NBA. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk. The pro football playoffs are here. Watch and wager on every game at Spirit Mountain Casino. Visit spiritmountain.com.
Go deeper on the Trailblazers. The Rose Garden Report with host Sean Hyken. Download the Rose Garden Report on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase.
Well, we're running hot. There's a lot to talk about. NFL playoffs and everything.
We're going to try to circle back and compartmentalize here.
Well, I don't know. There doesn't need to be any structure to it. Let's just go.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a free form sort of Monday.
Well, they're all three, 3 of the 4 finishes were really good.
Yeah.
And, in the Detroit-Tampa game, you might be conditioned to just turn off the TV when a team goes to victory formation.
Not so fast.
If you had turned that game off, boy, did you miss something. In a sense that Detroit, I don't know who screwed it up worse. I guess Todd Bowles. But after Baker threw the interception, Detroit got the ball back. It was under the 2-minute warning, but it was like, I don't remember how much time. It was like 1:30.
1:30, 1:40, something like that. I can look it up.
Detroit started kneeling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where many people probably tuned out. The problem with that was Tampa had 1 timeout left. Mm-hmm. So they probably needed to run plays, but they also, and this is where I go back and say, if any other coach did this, they're absolutely getting smoked. And if by some chance they ended up costing the team the game, they would get fired. Like if this is Mike McCarthy on either side or Sean McDermott on either side, we're debating this all day today.
Yeah, there was a minute 33 left.
1:33.
1:33.
So when Goff knelt on, I think it was 2nd down and 3rd down, he did it with over 10 seconds left on the play clock.
The last one that he kneeled on, there were 34 seconds. So they could have called timeout.
Well, wait. Hold on. I'm saying, I'm first pointing fingers at the great Dan Campbell.
Okay.
Because Tampa had a timeout left.
Yes.
So Dan Campbell and the Lions sideline should have known that they're going to use that timeout.
Yes.
Okay. But if you time it right, you can still run out the clock.
Yes.
Okay, because you have 3 downs, 40 seconds each. Do the math.
But they didn't.
They didn't waste enough time.
No.
Before kneeling on the ball,
Yep.
they had 10 or I think one time they had 17 seconds left on the play clock.
Yep.
Clock.
Yes.
Not the the play clock.
Yes.
I won't pull that.
Yeah, please don't. So that right there, if that and it didn't matter because Detroit won the game. And Todd Bowles one-upped Dan Campbell because Bowles, on the 4th down, 35 seconds left, Bowles has a timeout. He didn't call it. He could have. I mean, look, they're probably not going to win, but what if you block the field goal? What if Detroit has to try to kick a field goal? What if they miss it?
Yep.
If they miss it, you are in business. If you block it.
And Bowles said after the game, someone asked him about it, and he kind of was like, well, after the interception, we knew that we were done. Because I think in Bowles' mind,
oh my God,
he had probably already checked out because Detroit easily could have run out the clock. But at some point, someone should have informed him. Yeah. Someone should have been like, hey, Todd.
They screwed it up.
So when they knelt the last time.
There was 35 seconds.
34. They could have called timeout with 34 seconds.
He didn't call it.
And it would have roughly been about a 45-yard field goal.
He probably makes it and the game is probably over. But why do you not call your timeout?
Makes no sense.
So again, I give you, if that's Mike McCarthy,
we are murdering.
We are killing him.
Yes.
And Sean McDermott is the same. I don't know what it is about Todd Bowles. I guess no one cares about him. No one thinks he's any good anyway.
Hey, at least we're not racist, right? I just say we're
yeah, I guess you could look at it that way.
Giving him a pass. It's all
that
good.
guy also went for it. Now, this one did cost me money because if they got the 2-point conversion, they would have at least pushed.
Yeah.
But, and I didn't mind them going for 2 there. I loved it as a guy who had Tampa +6. But early in the game, Todd Bowles punted on 4th and 1. I don't even think he had 1 up near midfield.
Yeah.
And he punted.
He punted.
That guy's the worst.
And then the 2-point conversion thing, they did a good job of explaining it away because people were going crazy. So the idea behind that is that if you do the analytics, supposedly they were down by 14, they scored. And do you want to go in the whole thing? So
it's not. I mean, we've talked about it a million times.
The analytics say that if you're down by 14, go for 2.
Both times.
And it gives you about a 10% greater chance to win than if you just kick the extra point and try to kick the extra point twice. The conversion rate's like 53%. The extra point rate is about 95%. So again, when you add all those things up together, the idea is that if you go for 2 twice, worst case scenario, you tie the game, but you have a better chance of getting both of those and just winning the game outright.
That's why they. That's why they.
That's why they did it.
And that's why they tried to.
A bunch of people were freaking out about it, but
people always freak out about that one. Now you can go back and forth on that. I think we've had Bartu on that, and he laughs at that. He says
he's
that
BS.
the 2-point thing is not 50-50, and you shouldn't do it that way. But we can debate that another day. Point is that Dan Campbell really goofed that up.
He tried to pull a Mario.
He really did.
He tried to pull a Mario Cristobal.
He did. He 100% did. And then Todd Bowles just let him off the hook.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's enough of that game.
I really like that game. One, I love Dan Campbell. I love the Detroit Lions. I think it's fantastic. I love the redemption story with golf. I think Detroit's a young, fun team. When you look at their draft over the last couple years and who they've managed to get out of this, from Penei Sewell to Gibbs to St. Brown to Campbell to Branch. I mean, they have Porta, who is fantastic. They have just done an amazing job of building this young, exciting team. But I really think the quarterback reclamation project, I enjoy that, because I think, and McVay's even said as much, they kind of hung him out to dry out there in LA.
Oh, dude, not just the whole football community buried Jared Goff.
And so to see him come back and play so well and to lead a team to the NFC title game.
Yeah, he played great.
You know, I don't think they beat San Francisco, but God, seeing the Lions in the Super Bowl would be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Isn't it funny that the Lions, I mean, they basically sucked for the better part of 30 years, 40 years?
I think it's 32 years since they've been in the title game.
And they make the playoffs and go straight to the title game. I'm looking right at you, Dallas.
If you
who hasn't been to the NFC title game since the 90s?
Yeah, it's
hilarious.
Whoops. And
yes, they are very likable, the Lions.
They are. Jerry Jones is sitting around right now just
he's fuming.
All
right, let's get to KC Buffalo next on the Fan.
It's the Vancouver Ford text line.
Plenty of time to talk sports today.
One number does it all. 503-864.
All right, so much more to discuss from divisional round weekend of the NFL playoffs. KC Buffalo was every bit of the KC Buffalo we thought it would be.
Yep.
What a great game. 3
of the last 4 years, and with the exception of one, they've been classics.
And just so predictably a classic. It's like you could just see it coming. The line was it wasn't exactly right, but you know what I mean? Like most people went back and forth on that. You could make a good case for both sides.
Field goal game.
And it came down to that. It was just, and again, it's another NFL game that comes down to just one little thing here and there. If, you were talking about that throw, the third down throw, I think, on the last drive where.
It was the second down. Was it second down? Second down where he had Shakir in the end zone if he just steps into the throw.
But he got hit, it looked like, by Jones.
Yeah, Jones had some pressure on him, but that was more of, and he does this a lot, that Allen, he relies on his arm talent. It's the best arm in the league. And even before he felt that pressure, he was throwing off his back leg. He had plenty of time to either step into that throw or slide up and deliver it. He threw off his back leg and he shorted it. And of course, that's the one he's getting killed because if you look at it, it was 2nd and 9 and Diggs was wide open over the middle. And it was his first option on that run, a little drag route. If he dumps it to Diggs, it's a first down. They continue to bleed clock. And, it's either a shorter field goal or they go in and score. He had a touchdown. He shorted him the ball. And then on the third down, he had other guys short and he rolled out. And again, he threw it into the end zone and that was incomplete. And it led to the 44-yard field goal that, we know what happened.
He missed the field goal, but I just feel like if they were going to score there, even a touchdown, they did it far too soon. Well, Mahomes was going to – the Bills were not stopping Kansas City.
And that's why –
they were going to lose.
And that's why people were like pointing out it's in that situation. I know it's weird, but it's not just go score a touchdown.
No, you're right.
It's
make it the last possession no matter what.
Yes, and so – the idea of, yes, that was a touchdown in the end zone if he doesn't short it, that was probably his third read. And the first two reads were Diggs and I think Kincaid was the other one. And they were both open for significant hunks of yardage, certainly a first down. And I think that's one that people are going to look at with Josh Allen and be like, man, I know we love hero ball. I know you've got the arm. Go through your reads, throw it, and let's live to fight another day, and let's keep bleeding this clock. And we're either kicking a cheap shot field goal and sending it to OT, or we're scoring with no time left, and we're making it hard on Mahomes.
Yeah, That's a tough one. It's hard to, and conventional wisdom would tell you, you never just let up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But when it's Mahomes on the other side and your defense is just banged up and cannot stop him,
nope,
you kind of have to let up in that spot. You have to manage that better to give yourself, like you said, either the game-winning touchdown or at least just tie it, go to overtime, and take your chances. But you can't. I mean, hell, they gave the ball back to Mahomes with 13 seconds one time, and he still beat him.
Yeah, and this is where it's interesting in that, obviously, the narrative at this point is Josh Allen can't beat Patrick Mahomes. And it's clear. Like, you've eliminated him 3 or 4 times. But this is why, we do this with quarterbacks, and it's a little silly. Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes. He scored with 13 seconds left. That's not on Josh Allen. It's not Josh Allen's fault. And then he never saw the ball again. So Josh Allen did his part to win that playoff game. And it was the other side that let him down. And like you said, had Allen scored in the final one, or let's say they kick the field goal and it goes in, and Mahomes goes down and beats him. And by the way, there was still plenty of time. I think had that field goal gone in, wouldn't have mattered. I think Mahomes was going to kick you in the giblets anyways. Again, is that Josh Allen's fault? So yes, Josh Allen can't beat Pat Mahomes, but we try to make this so much like it's one versus the other when there's so many components to it. And Allen played really, really well in that game. But, his receivers did him no favors. They dropped multiple balls throughout that game.
Diggs.
Yeah, including, what was a surefire walk-in touchdown. And then Allen on that last drive, even though he was great, you can certainly nitpick second and third down on that and say that you didn't do your job.
Might I point out that he also fumbled on that last drive?
Yeah.
They just fell on it. They got lucky to recover it, but he fumbled. Jones got him.
Yep.
So, it's very interesting. It's like you look at Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, and Josh Allen all had the opportunity to drive their teams down for what could have been the game-winning score.
Yes.
And only one did. And that was Brock Purdy. And he was having a bad game. Yep. Like, so it leads to this question, and I don't know if it's even answerable, but it's like, is there something to when you look at the shining star example is Patrick Mahomes, where there's just something about that quarterback, that leader, that when they are in that spot, they score. Tom Brady always did. Yep. It felt like Tom Brady always drove him down and scored every time.
Yeah.
It felt like that. I'd like to see the numbers, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Mahomes is the same way. Purdy had a bad game. Green Bay had that game, and freaking that dude nutted up and somehow, some way got his team into the end zone.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's a rookie. He did not, threw a terrible interception. Baker Mayfield's Baker Mayfield. He did not, threw a terrible interception. Allen is the one guy where, and I'm with you, like, it's not his fault. It's just, man, is there something that he is missing by not being able to get them into the end zone in that spot?
The only thing I'll say is, because again, going back to the 13-second game, he did. He had his moment.
He's done it before.
He won.
But like I said, there are some guys where you just count on
every time.
And I will say with Allen, to be fair to Allen, I mean, when you watch them over the last 4 or 5 years, generally, if he has the ball last, and we don't know if that was going to be the last possession, but it should have been.
Yep.
He's great. You're scared.
Yeah.
He's gonna go get the score.
He's terrifying. But again, had their defense held up.
So I know, but I'm just saying, I'm just focusing on the quarterbacks.
The quarterbacks, yeah.
Is there something?
There is, and you know what the difference is? Josh Allen is great, and Patrick Mahomes is all time. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Like so the two guys that you just brought up that we trust every time.
Brock Purdy.
One is without question the GOAT. For God's sakes, he's got 7 Super Bowls. He has lapped the competition. And the other guy is the only player that after 6 years that you would even have the balls to even attempt to say would be better than Tom Brady. And that's Patrick Mahomes. So you asked, what is Josh Allen missing? That. He is a great player. Josh Allen is an MVP type player. What he's missing is he is not generational. He is not truly unique. And in a league full of great players where there's always one or two things that separate, teams, when you have a guy that is truly special, when you have Joe Montana, when you have Tom Brady, when you have Patrick Mahomes, that's the difference between legends and even Hall of Famers. There's lots of guys like Eli Manning's going to be a Hall of Famer. Phillip Rivers, there's a great example. Phillip Rivers is going to be a Hall of Famer. He should be. If he's not, you're foolish. This guy's got phenomenal numbers. But is Josh Allen more Phillip Rivers than he is, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady? I think he's somewhere in between those things. And he's been in the league, 6, 7 years? How long did it take Steve Young and John Elway to break through? I mean, give it time. There is still plenty of time for Josh Allen to get the monkey off his back. Aaron Rodgers didn't win one for a while. It happens. But as of right now, when you think about Josh Allen, as great as he is, you're going to think about sometimes bad turnovers, and you're going to think about in big key moments that his team, and whether it's fair or not, when you say his team, you mean him, he hasn't come through in the clutch.
All right, we'll wrap up KC Buffalo next, and then we'll move on to our stock watch, what we're buying and selling from the weekend in sports next hour on The Fan. in the news is after that. You know the routine. It's Isaac and Souk. What's up? Just looking here at Kansas City. We're talking about the Chiefs-Bills game.
Mm-hmm.
You may have seen that game.
I have.
Good little ball game. Yeah, the Chiefs rushed for 146 against Buffalo. The Chiefs offense, I was just, what I was looking at was the Chiefs offense statistically this year. They were 14th in scoring and 17th in rushing.
Mm-hmm.
And yet all of a sudden, they are the KC of old. Like they couldn't be stopped.
No, yeah.
I don't know how all of a sudden they're back to being KC, but man, you got to.
Well, I mean, Kelsey
give them credit.
Kelsey had a big game, and
he played great.
And
had not been playing great.
No, he had not. And
Mahomes is just
that special. I mean, 6 years, 6 AFC title games, been to 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. I personally think it runs out this week against Baltimore. Again, I don't think Kansas City's that good. I think this is the worst version of Kansas City that we've seen, although their defense is very good. Buffalo is gashing them in the first half, and then give them credit. They kind of shut down Buffalo in the second half, although there was only the 4 possessions. But the Kansas City has largely been a defensive team this last year and a half, and I think against Baltimore they're going to run into it. But make no mistake about it, at this point, bet against Patrick Mahomes at your own peril.
So you betting against him against Baltimore?
I probably will. Again, I don't feel great about it, but I don't love this Kansas City team. Haven't loved them all year.
Well, neither have I, but they've looked different.
They have looked different, but I think Baltimore
I
think Baltimore will be very problematic. Now, historically, again, if we're going to look at a preview of it, Mahomes against the Ravens has just been, he has murdered them. His numbers against the Ravens are incredible.
Well, didn't they used to just blitz the crap out of him?
Exactly.
This new guy doesn't.
He doesn't. And they don't have to. And so
that's different.
Again, I think you can toss that out, but people are going to bring up his record against the Ravens and the numbers. I think Baltimore is that much of a different team. Again, whether Kansas City wins or loses, the fact that they're here as their worst version, and yet here we are again talking about them in the playoffs, going on the road. Yeah. I mean, Patrick Mahomes in 6 years, no one has had. It is the greatest start to an NFL career in the history of the league.
He has more playoff wins than Brady, under 30.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Under, not all time.
Before the age of 30.
Well,
Brady had like 8 million after 40.
And him and Kelsey have the most touchdowns of any duo in playoff history. They just passed Gronk and Brady. Again, no one's ever been to 6 straight title games to start your career. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's a lot of great quarterbacks, and you're going to hear it. And Lamar, is a great quarterback, and we're not giving him his just due because he's about to win his second MVP and could go on and play for a Super Bowl. And Josh Allen is great, and Joe Burrow, but there's no debate. They're the best player in the league, and it's not close. The best player in the league is whether you like him or not, or whether you find him nauseating, and the NFL props up Kansas City, and I swear to God, every other commercial is involving Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes. But whether you love him or hate him, the best player in the league, and it's not close, is number 15.
Do you find him likable? Do you like Patrick Mahomes?
I find, yes. But, and this comes with success, Steph Curry might be the most likable athlete on the planet, in my opinion. But when they're winning all the time, little things start to annoy you. And it's funny because what annoys me about Patrick Mahomes isn't really Patrick Mahomes.
It's his wife?
His wife annoys me. His brother annoys me. It does annoy me a little bit that it feels like that there is some preferential treatment when it comes to them with officials. I think it's annoying, again, that the entire league's marketing campaign, and it's not just the league, but companies, they want to associate with that. So yeah, there's some artificial stuff. Tiger Woods had a lot of this. I like Tiger, but when Tiger was at his peak, it's a bit annoying. It's the same thing with whether it's Taylor Swift or whether it's anyone that becomes the biggest star on the planet, oversaturation. But at his core, what is not to like about Patrick Mahomes? He's a family guy, right? He's with his high school sweetheart, even though, she seems to be annoying as hell. His brother's a giant douche, but Pat isn't. He's never been in trouble off the field. His teammates love him. Every time I see him in that quarterback show, which I thought was stupid, every time that he was on there, I find him to be about as normal as you could be for someone of his level. What's not to like? The only reason to not like him is the same reason you don't like Steph Curry, and that's just they're just too good, and that can be annoying.
Yeah, I like him, and I like watching him. I agree with you. I think he's going to be in the best ever convo when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I think but the sad part is he already is, and it's 6 years in.
I know, but you can't. I mean, come on, you can't really.
Yeah, I know.
He's got one.
But if you ask me, and I'm being dead serious, if you ask me to take right now, you give me any team, right? You're going to give me a random team, and I got to win one game for my life, and I got to pick the guy. And I'm not saying this to just in recency bias. Like, I love Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the greatest to ever play the game, and Mahomes isn't even close to that right now because you got to. God,
of course he's got two. I said one. He's got two.
Like
but he's been to the title game, I think.
3. He's been to 3 Super Bowls.
But he's been to the title game every year.
Yes, 6 straight years. six years as a starter, 6 years in the AFC title game, 3 Super Bowls, won 2, lost 1. And I don't know if he'll ever reach the accomplishments that Brady does, but if I had one game for my life, and I've watched this game a long time, Montana, Elway, Manning, Brady, all these guys, if I had to pick one, I think the evolution of this position, I think it's him. I really do. I think he offers things that some of those guys don't. There was a play in this where he threw, who was the touchdown pass to, right down the middle, that Buffalo had 2 free rushers that came around the edge, unblocked. And Mahomes stepped up in the pocket and threw the damn thing sidearmed 35 yards on a rope. And you just look at that and you're like, what do you do? And he can run and he can scramble, and Brady couldn't do that. Brady manipulated the pocket better than anyone. But when I watch him play, I don't know what to pick apart. When he was early in his career, that was all about downfield passing, right? It was Tyreek Hill and these speed guys, and they would just burn you over the top with big plays. And the league went to this cover 2 shell, and they said, you're not going to beat us over the top anymore. I'm just not going to do it. And Mahomes was like, okay, then I'll become an underneath guy. And they won a Super Bowl that way. And then I looked at this team and I was like, it's not that good of a team. His receivers kind of suck. And, his tackles are holding penalty machines. And, it's just like, it's not their year. They're not that good. And here they are in the AFC title game. I don't know what to pick apart about his game. If I had one game for my life, I would pick him. Doesn't mean he's the best of all time, but one game, I don't know why I would pick anyone else.
Hard to argue. I wanted it for Buffalo, though.
I did, too.
I was watching that. Sometimes I didn't have a financial rooting interest in the game. I just wanted to watch that game and enjoy it for what it was. And sometimes you just find yourself rooting for a side. You don't really know why. Yeah. And for me, it was Buffalo. I was rooting for them.
I was too. When he short-armed the ball to Shakir in the on 2nd and 9, when he let that thing go, I was like, holy F, he just won this game, or at least put him up, because it looked like it was heading right for him, and it ended short. And it did. I kind of had like an outward. That's when I realized I was really pulling for Buffalo, because I was watching the game, same thing, and you kind of have these weird moments. You're like, oh my God, like you really are pulling for Buffalo, and I wanted them to do it. And then when he missed the field goal, I just head was down like, wow.
I also thought the fumble out of the end zone.
I hate that rule. I know.
We'll have a whole
for years.
segment on that later this week. But I thought that was, the second that happened, I'm like, oh,
Buffalo's going to win.
Buffalo's going to win.
Yeah.
That you can't give them that.
They just let him off the hook.
Yeah, exactly. Let him off the hook.
I don't want to get into a rant because I know we're up against.
Well, we'll do that later in the week.
Is the dumbest rule in sports.
It's in the notes. Coming up next.
I hate it.
We will get our stock watch in here, what we're buying and selling from the weekend in sports. It's 4:16 on the Fan.
Real quick before we stock watch it, I just wanted to double check this because we were talking about the stupid fumble by Hardman. I want you to realize that in a game of this magnitude, he touched the ball 3 times. He gained 1 yard and fumbled twice.
Wow.
That may be the greatest stat line in playoff history and damn near cost him the game. 2 catches, 1 rush, combined total, 1 yard, 2 fumbles.
That hurts.
Way to go.
All right, here's Schultze with our stock watch.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Losing sucks. Losing to them, losing to anybody. At home. Sucks.
That was Bills quarterback Josh Allen after their 27-24 defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday. And the debate raging on all over social media about that loss for the Buffalo Bills. Of course, Allen throwing for a touchdown. He had 2 tutties on the ground. People are picking apart his decision-making at times during the game, though. He's a good quarterback, but also people pointing out he hasn't been able to lead his team past the AFC Championship in 2020. So do you guys buy or sell that Josh Allen is an elite quarterback?
Yes. Oh, for God's sakes. And by the way, his numbers in those Kansas City games are phenomenal.
Oh, there, yeah.
He's got like 23 touchdowns and I think 4 or 5 picks, and he's been great. He was very good in that one. Yeah, he's elite. Now, there's like 5 or 6 elite quarterbacks in the league. And you don't think Josh Allen is one of them? Yeah, Josh Allen is elite. He's just not Patrick Mahomes. And I would like to point out for the 1,000th time, he beat Patrick Mahomes. He scored the winning touchdown with 13 seconds left. And then their crappy-ass special teams and defense allowed them in 13 seconds to get in field goal range. Not Josh Allen's fault. And then Josh Allen never touched the ball again. He's elite. He's just not that guy. We all thought that Mahomes and Allen would be like right there dueling back and forth. And they're not. Patrick Mahomes is one, and and then up to you where you want to put Josh Allen, but there's not 5 players outside of Patrick Mahomes better than Josh Allen.
He's definitely elite. I sell that. I think, and I'm not trying to say that he's as good as Mahomes because we just talked about that about how Mahomes is just another level and the best player in the league. But if you look at the true, like the greats,
Yeah.
they all have elite head coaches.
Yeah.
You know, Montana had Walsh, Brady had Belichick, Patrick Mahomes has Andy Reid. I think the coach is what holds Josh Allen back from being put into this conversation.
I'm with you.
I do not think Sean McDermott is very good at all. As a matter of fact, he almost blew it. He almost blew the whole season. They almost didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he, to his credit, he changed out offensive coordinators. That worked. And, they ended up getting the home game in the divisional round. Still didn't win. I really believe, as good as Sean McDermott likely is, he is not good enough. And I think the Bills, I don't know. They're probably not going to fire him because he salvaged the season. But, man, if I'm a Bills fan and I've got Josh Allen, and by the way, his cap number, I think, goes to $47 million from $18 million next year. Did you know that?
Yeah, they got to figure out. Like, they're in a cap situation where they got to restructure a bunch of guys.
Yeah. So coaching is going to become even more important.
Yep.
I think that I'm taking a look at, I don't know if they're probably not going to make a change there, but I think over the next year to 2 years, I really believe the Bills need a new coach.
Tampa Bay did it with Tony Dungy, who was great, and
I think
John Gruden won him a Super Bowl.
If Josh Allen had what we consider to be an elite coach, now you're cooking with grease.
Yeah.
Is that what they say? Is that the line?
I think it's cooking with fire.
Cooking
right?
with fire?
Yeah.
Well, I want to cook with grease.
You cook with gas, maybe that's
Cooking
what it
with
is?
gas.
Cooking
Maybe
with
that's what it
gas?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now we're cooking with
Yeah.
gas. There you
Now
go.
we're cooking with gas.
Yeah.
Get that guy an elite coach, and I think we'll talk about him differently.
Well, I think it's important, right? You can't, I don't know if it's not the first thing you think of if you go to L.A. or just in general, right? You got the sun, you got the beach, you got plenty of other things going on. And here, man, it's harsh winters, right? Auto industry, blue collar, things aren't always easy.
Piano.
And I just think that's what we're about. And that was, you want something the city can be proud of. Though you can look at those guys and say, man, I can back that guy. I can back that team. I can resonate with those group of guys. kind of salty. You know, they don't quit. They play hard. And so I feel like we've done that. And I think these guys, you know, they have a kinship with this city and this area, and they love it, man.
That is Lions coach Dan Campbell following their 31-23 win over the Buccaneers to punch their ticket to the NFC Championship game this weekend. Obviously, Detroit, a lot to be excited about, have not won a division at all in 30 years, and I believe they are tied pre-Super Bowl era for the most NFL championships. Post-Super Bowl era, they have won 0. And it kind of struck me, you know, hearing him talking about that. It made me think of back in 2010 when the Saints won the Super Bowl after Katrina. You know, the city is connected to these teams. Obviously, a massive event happening in the city of New Orleans. So that's not really the comparable thing to Detroit. What's comparable to me, though, is the love for the team. And because of that, guys, after the win, I feel like Detroit is going to be sailing as far as like fandom versus San Francisco fans rooting for the Niners. Do you guys buy or sell that the Lions will have more momentum than the 49ers going into the NFC Championship game?
I don't know about momentum, but they'll be America's team. More people will be pulling for Detroit than anyone else. If you don't have a team in this Final Four, you're pulling for Detroit. It's by far the most likable team. Campbell is by far the most likable guy. Again, there's a lot of different arcs, and you mentioned from the city of Detroit and just kind of the blue-collar nature of it. And, you know, people making fun of Dan Campbell when he got hired with the kneecap stuff, and you got a great redemption story with your quarterback. But momentum? I don't know. I mean, at this point, they played one more game than San Francisco, but San Francisco's coming off a big win over Green Bay. I think anytime maybe you're the underdog, maybe there's some momentum there because you're playing with house money, but I don't think that momentum in either one of these games has much to do with anything.
Yeah, I don't think it's a factor in the game, but I do think they have more momentum. But that all gets thrown out the window, you know, when Jared Goff gets sacked and fumbles on the opening possession, and then the Niners go down and maybe Greenlaw runs it in for a touchdown.
Instead of just falling down,
you know,
just fall down.
Well, I wanted Greenlaw. How many people were rooting for Greenlaw to keep going, son of a bitch, in the end zone and get us a cover?
Just keep going.
There's a little backdoor cover there.
Go.
Alas, it didn't work out.
No, it did not.
But so I think they have the momentum. They have nothing to lose. They're the underdog. The Niners did not play well, and you know they're a little like, we need to tighten it up.
Exactly. They know that that's not good enough.
And the Lions don't think that way, even though Dan Campbell tried to screw it up at the end of the game there. So I think they do have the momentum, but I'm not sure how much it matters. Let's put it that way.
Love looking, throws back across his body over the middle, intercepted. It's picked off by the 49ers. It's Greenlaw's second of the night. He runs back to the 40, reversing field to the right. Chase from behind. Gets away from Jaden Reed. Finally brought down by and the 49ers are going to win.
Oh, that was the second interception of the game by Jordan Love to seal the win for the San Francisco 49ers. Dre Greenlaw with his second pick of Love for the game. You know, Love, he came in, you mentioned it last hour, Suit. Go check it on the Service Patriots podcast, that he had a great final 8 games of the season leading up to the playoffs. So they definitely, we were just talking about momentum, had some going into the playoffs. He's really good. He's their future, and, you know, maybe not necessarily going to lead them to a Super Bowl, but you're now fine in Green Bay, not worrying about your quarterback. But do you guys buy or sell throughout that game? A couple of decisions that he made, looking like Brett Favre on that final interception. Do you buy or sell that the Packers lost the game because of Jordan Love?
Interesting. Again, I hate the idea that one guy, Bass didn't cost Buffalo the game. Allen didn't cost him the game. McDermott, it's always a bunch of factors. But
the kicker missed a big field goal too.
Yeah. Which, by the way, did you see the Tom Rinaldi thing?
No.
There's a kerfuffle now between Tom Rinaldi and Matt LaFleur.
Why? I want to hear about this.
Yeah. So look at it. It's a whole thing.
2 of my sports favorites.
Yeah. Well, apparently Matt LaFleur is pissed.
He seems like kind of a low-key red ass.
He said something apparently off the record, and Rinaldi used it and made it to the broadcast about his kicker. And anywho, did they lose?
I want to hear about that.
Did they lose the game because of Jordan Love? No. Did Jordan Love play a huge part in costing them the game? Yeah. Yeah, I will not say that Jordan Love didn't play great. Neither did Brock Purdy. Neither one of them played a great game. And Love made some piss poor plays. The first interception was a bad throw, was high and behind, got tipped, and the last one is inexcusable. Because he's not a rookie, but because he's a first year starter, we're gonna look at that and be like, oh. But if that had been Lamar Jackson, oh my God, Dak Prescott, if that had been, imagine if that's Josh Allen, we murder the poor guy. So he's not solely responsible, but he didn't play well enough to win, and his mistakes were, for a young team that's not as talented on the road, you can't overcome those. So I'm stopping short of saying he's the reason why they lost, but it wasn't good.
That's a tough one. That's a good question. I can't blame him, but I want to. I mean, that interception. I mean,
they're both bad.
Come on, dude. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you, a rookie? I mean, he's not a rookie, but, close to it.
Still, that's
an experienced guy.
You can't
God.
do that.
But the kicker missed a field goal. The defense, they gave up a key touchdown. The other thing is they did not, they were up. Was it? Oh, gosh, I can't remember the score. These games all blend together. But they were up 4 and were driving. They had to settle. No, that's when they missed the field goal.
That's when they missed the field goal.
Yeah, that drive right there. I don't know if you can blame that on Love, but
well, it would have made it made San Francisco's touchdown, would have tied it, not put them in the lead. And then of course we had the 2 drops.
Yeah, there's a lot of
on interceptions and one of them would have been a pick 6.
There's just a lot of stuff. So I'm going to stop short of blaming Jordan Love, but that last interception, man, that was brutal.
Yep.
They looked good. Green Bay, that was a hell of an effort. And I saw an interview with Christian McCaffrey after the game, and he said, and Joey Harrington was talking about this on our show on Friday. He was talking about sometimes you come out and you play and the game never feels right. And that's what McCaffrey said. He said from the very first snap of that game, it did not feel right. And the Niners scrapped their ass all the way to a huge gutsy win, but I just give a lot of credit to Green Bay for making that game the way it was. Yep. So I'm going to stop short of blaming Jordan Love, but my God, that last throw, you can't have it.
Love you guys. That's all I got for you.
What? Was that only 2?
That was 3. It was 3. And that was like a 12, 13-minute segment. We good.
And by the way, like everyone on Green Bay's offense, basically, outside of like Aaron Jones, and who, by the way, he was great. Dude, they're not all back. They're all like 20. They're all like 27 or below. I mean, it's baby. So you can't do you're young or you'll be bad. Go ask Dan Marino that. But
they're better than we thought.
In theory, Green Bay should, for the foreseeable future, be very good.
And weren't they? I don't know what the record was. Weren't they like 4-7 or something?
Yeah, they were cooked.
Yeah, but they clicked.
Yep.
That's kind of fun to see a young team do that. And
bright
so
future.
The future is definitely bright. All right, there is your Stock Watch. It is each Monday brought to you by Goldberg Jones. When it comes to divorce, custody, or child support issues, trust Goldberg Jones to help. 1-800-DIVORCE. Phone questions answered at no charge. In the News is next. Here's Schultze.
Now, from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update is brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction. Check out their award-winning outdoor living designs or schedule your free design consultation at vulcandc.com. First on The Fan, out of the NFL, the Carolina Panthers have announced they are promoting Assistant General Manager Dan Morgan to be their next GM full-time. He's been in Carolina since 2021, as well as spending time in Seattle and Buffalo as the Director of Player Personnel. NFL Network reporting that the Lions are signing tight end Zach Ertz to their practice squad. Their plan is to elevate him to their active roster, though, for Sunday's game against the 49ers, and that's, of course, because Brock Wright injured his forearm in yesterday's win over Tampa Bay. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting that Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh is expected to meet with the Chargers for a second time regarding their head coach opening. And one day after firing defensive coordinator Sean Desai, The Athletic reports that the Eagles are interviewing former Commanders head coach Ron Rivera's offensive coordinator Shane Waldron to fill the same position in Chicago. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk. The pro football playoffs are here. Watch and wager on every game at Spirit Mountain Casino. Visit spiritmountain.com.
The home of Primetime with Isaac and Sue. Weekdays 3 to 7, 1080 The Fan.
I believe you deserve to be able to trust in your lawyer. This is McDaniel Reynolds with the Reynolds Defense Firm.
Did you know that we're doing a winter golf classic here at the Fan?
I just found that out.
Did you know that?
I did.
First annual Fan Winter Golf Classic will be at X Golf Tualatin and X Golf Vancouver on Tuesday, February 27th.
It's golf indoors.
Yeah, Sims, bruh, and a bar. Nice and warm.
Even better.
Sign your threesome up now. Play at noon or 4 p.m. at either location. Danny and Dusty will be at the Vancouver site. We'll be at the Tualatin site. And the winning threesome wins a free foursome at this summer's 10th annual Fan Golf Classic.
I got a bone to pick, though.
How about that?
Why aren't we at the Vancouver location?
Thank you. What do you mean?
It's like 6 seconds from my house.
Oh, not mine.
Danny and
Looks
Dusty.
like we know who run this show.
Danny and Dusty live far, far away from Vancouver. One of us, like 4 blocks away, and yet we're in Vancouver. We're not in Vancouver. I'm not happy.
Well, what about the other one of us?
Well,
Tualatin's closer.
We may have
Are
to
you happy for me?
We may have to do a tag team. It may be me and Dusty in Vancouver and you and Danny.
All right.
Although Danny may
Hot
be dead.
Blazer talk?
Danny may be dead. We don't know.
Me and Danny doing a Hot Blazer show. Wouldn't that be something? You guys like that?
You like that?
He'd just be frustrating you. Be like, well, no, they're good here. And you're like, I
No,
don't
they're
believe you.
In the news. Wait. Wait.
Wait.
Wait.
Well, that was clunky.
Wait.
That was the whole thing.
I'll start
Kill
it
the
over
music.
again.
Yeah, kill the music. It is January 22nd, 2024. It is time for In the News. I'm your newsman. Hello. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll do it live.
Please be seated. Yes, we will.
We'll do it
We're
live.
doing it live. Today is International Sweatpants Day. Do you have your sweaties on?
I'm
today?
wearing joggers. Do those count as sweaties?
I think those are the new sweatpants, but I feel like sweatpants,
They've evolved.
well, they have, but I just feel like what we know of as sweatpants, nobody really wears them anymore.
Yeah, because there's
You
much
know?
better.
Like, they're kind of obsolete.
Yes.
Although you do see them out in the wild sometimes, and it's hilarious.
They are obsolete and ugly.
Yeah, they're awful.
Yeah, there's just better.
They're awful.
Yeah.
Joggers are way better.
Yes.
But I woun't call those sweatpants because they're not made out of that.
Yeah, like the old
same material.
Russell athletic. I don't think I own a single pair of sweatpants.
I have sweat shorts.
Yeah, I do. I do have some sweat shorts. Yeah, those are nice on a mild winter, I guess, fall day.
I wear them a lot.
Yeah.
Every time my dad would come home and change, because he was a police officer, retired now, but he would change out of the uniform. And what's the most comfortable thing after that god-awful belt you've been wearing all day? Sweatpants. He probably had those old Russell sweatpants in every color. Love you, Dad.
Fantastic. Rest in peace.
No,
Mr.
he's still alive.
Still alive. Yeah.
Still alive. Love you.
Also, National Hot Sauce Day.
Love a good hot sauce.
Me too.
Not that hot though. You watch like the Hot Ones challenge, like some of that stuff. Like I don't understand
Yeah.
why you.
Too hot.
Yeah, why are you trying to do
Clicks.
that?
Because for clicks.
Yeah, it's just no thanks.
We just had the Frank's Red Hot ad on our station like this last break.
Love
I have
Frank's.
Oh my! I have 3 of those bottles in my fridge right now.
Yeah, Frank's is great. If you're wondering when they're going to finally pick up your trash, I can't tell you.
Yeah, they told us, screw you, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I think that's what they told us too, although I don't really read the emails very closely. I need to go back and
They
look.
call me.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they leave a little message.
I think that's like a preference on your...
My
emailed me Waste Management. I will say they have been pretty communicative about how they're going to do it. They last week they were like, set out your cans and we may be by. We don't know.
They called me and said,
And they never came.
yeah,
And so then I thought they would come today because it's all melted. And they didn't. Now they're saying just set it out on the normal day and just have, if you have double, we won't charge you.
that's what they say. But what am I supposed to set it out in?
Yeah, I don't-
that's what I want to know. Because already my trash, there was a
It's
bag.
full.
Yeah, my gal put out a bag of trash in on the front porch today. So I went to take it out, and she put it there because the raccoons are going to go out there and get into it. And
Raccoons
I
might.
don't know what to.
Well, you need one of those backup cans, like
I don't
your
have-
own canister.
I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't either.
No.
Ours isn't actually full, which is weird.
Oh,
I
mine's
don't know
full.
why. Well, anyway, there's a not update about that. Multnomah Falls is closed. They're flooding. Did you see that? You know how in Multnomah Falls when you go park there,
Yeah.
and then you walk under the tunnel and
Yeah,
you go up to
the 6 parking spots that they have.
that whole tunnel thing is complete. It's like there's a river running through it.
So there's nowhere to.
I mean, it's crazy.
So you can't. It's closed.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I just said.
Yeah. No way to get there.
Closed due to flooding. Well, you can get there, but you're gonna you might be swept away into the mighty Columbia. Or onto the freeway. I think it might just sweep you right out onto the freeway there.
Is there any way? I'm trying to think. It's been so long. There's no way around that?
I thought that was the only spot.
That's the area where you park.
Yeah.
It's why it kind of sucks to go when it's all full. It's like,
it's
all right,
always
you're done.
full. Let me just say, for the record,
Well, you have to have a reservation now.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you know that?
Yeah.
You
we
can't just
talked
go
about
there.
that. Yeah, it's freaking terrible.
Yeah, you have to reserve a spot.
I understand it's beautiful and it's iconic, but yeah, I'm good. I'm out.
Yeah, they should blow it up.
I'm gonna go find some other places. So a place I can go hike with a waterfall.
What else do I have for you? Oh, big sinkhole news up in Vancouver.
Oh, there was one in the center too.
Yeah, did you see that car? It was a Jeep. I think it was a Jeep.
Is the red one?
Yeah,
that's Le Center. That's not
that's
Vancouver.
in Le Center.
That's Le Center.
Oh, they're saying it's in Vancouver.
I think that's false. I think that is fake news. Pretty sure that was in Le Center.
A couple is safe after their car fell into a sinkhole in a Vancouver intersection early Saturday morning. Oh, no, she's just from Le Center.
Oh.
Caitlin Bicknell of Le Center.
All right.
Said her boyfriend Kevin was driving at 30th and Washington Street around 1:15 a.m. when the front of their car hit the sinkhole. Boy, I tell you, the pictures of that are
that is
freaking bananas.
That is crazy. And I did have a question when I saw this story, because now, did the sinkhole just appear, or did you not see the sinkhole?
Well,
did you think it was covered in water? Because it's a giant ass hole.
I feel like they felt like they were just driving over water.
Oh.
You know how sometimes you get pools of water?
Yeah, but that thing is
It's big.
That's crazy.
But how would you see that if there's water? There appears to be water everywhere.
I don't know, but I had questions about the sinkhole. Did the sink? Because it's one thing if you're just driving and then the sinkhole emerges. It's another thing to me if you drive into the sinkhole. I feel like am I being judgmental when I think you should avoid the sinkhole? That was my first thought when I saw it. Was like, you drove into that? Like,
yeah, I think they just feel like they're driving through.
Yeah, it's like a puddle.
Water.
That's not a puddle. If I see that and I'm looking out at that thing, I'm not certain that I'm plowing through that.
It may be.
Yeah. You see what I mean?
Well,
look at that photo.
I see both sides. I don't know.
I'm trying not to be judgmental. I'm just asking the question.
I don't think you can see a sinkhole.
I'm usually one of the first to jump on people for being idiots. I got to side with Rob in this one. It looks, if you're driving, if you're flat, like hindsight's 2020, Suk, of course, now you can tell. Not sure you can tell just driving down the road.
Yeah, she said, we had seen that there was water on the road, and we were like, what's this?
Tell you what it is. It's a big ass hole.
As soon as we took the corner, it was just like a roller coaster. Immediately, the front end went straight down. She said she panicked, but Kevin remained calm and told her to get out through the window. Instead, she tried to open the door. It slammed shut. It hits her leg. She, though, managed to escape. The car was slowly sinking and filling with water, just like the movies.
Yeah.
She says, as I'm halfway out, he's already out trying to help me get out of the hole. We were up to our knees in water.
Now, did they go out back hatch? Because the photos I saw with the hatch was open.
Yeah, it looks like they might have crawled out the back.
Yeah, I think that when you find yourself nose deep in the sinkhole, yeah, you got to scramble out the back.
God, that could have been way worse.
Yeah, it's like a whole pitfall game.
Yeah,
it goes back to
totally.
my fear of quicksand. I don't like sinking in anything. And if anyone has watched Bear Grylls, you know you can't open a door under the water pressure.
Right.
You can't do it. Come on.
Yeah, the window is the best place to go through.
Yeah, you can't open a door when it's halfway submerged. Can do it. If anything, you need to wait for your car to fully sink, and then you can do it. But you don't want to do that. Get out the window.
So they said the sinkhole was in the middle of the road, and she estimated it was about 4 to 4.5 feet deep. So
yeah, it's a good sinkhole.
Yeah, but you know, I think of the ones like where you're going to get down to China.
Yeah, like the tar pit sort of sinkholes. Yeah.
She says, I'm very thankful it happened to us and not an older person. It felt so unreal. Yeah, that's true, boy. An old might have died in there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if like Grandma Gertie is in there, she's not crawling out of that thing.
The car has been totaled.
I would assume so.
And now she said, because they're so traumatized, she said her next vehicle will have manual windows.
Oh, for God's sakes. Really?
I was driving a U-Haul over the weekend.
It had manuals?
And it had manuals, and I could not have been more put out. I was like, what is this?
I don't even know. Outside of
I have to roll this all the way down with my hand.
I was going to say, outside of a U-Haul truck, where do you even like say she's gonna go buy? What are you buying, like a '67 Mustang?
Exactly.
Like, what are you doing? Where are you gonna find a car with manual windows? I don't think that's an option. I'm fairly certain that I couldn't.
That's gonna be hard to find.
I don't think I could go order a Ford right now and be like, I would like manual windows. I'd also like the optional CB Rally Fun Pack to go with that as well.
And by the way, could you take out the power steering?
That's ridiculous.
It'd probably be easier to find a used car with all of those features away, or like taken off or taken away from the car.
My dad once ordered a car without a side view mirror.
That was an option.
Apparently, it wasn't legal, or it wasn't illegal, and my dad didn't want to pay for it.
I remember you telling that story.
Yeah, he bought the most stripped. We bought like a Chevy Cavalier, and my dad wanted no options, and he made them go through and take out every single option on the car. We bought the most stripped down. No radio. You ever seen a car without a radio? It's just they just put like a plastic cover over the top of it.
That's depressing.
One side mirror. That thing was amazing. Although apparently the heater not an option. You do have to have a heater.
You have to.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you do it. I'm guessing because of the defrost feature.
Was this Russia?
So we did not have to have air conditioning, but they did make my father buy a heater.
Well, I tell you what, me having to roll down the window.
Yeah.
Like an animal.
Yeah. What is this?
Was very hard.
Yeah. You have to really put some muscle in
and
it.
I hurt my thumb because I was moving stuff and I hurt my thumb. So now I got to reach over with my right. They're lucky I didn't die.
What if you had to unroll the passenger window? Now you're doing a big lean.
It's just not happening.
While you're driving? Anarchy.
Gotta shoot it out. It is anarchy. What is this? What is they doing?
Maybe she needs to get one of those NASCAR windows where it's just the cargo net that you just put up and down.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it might be a little chilly, but
you can cut right out of that thing.
I just love it. My next car, manual windows.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, settle down, Caitlin Clark.
Sinkhole again?
Lighten up.
Bar and restaurant owners are upset. That story next on The Fan.
The Fan is on in your home and where you work.
It's just us.
All right, Hot 5 at 5 is coming up next, and then we'll get back to the divisional round of the playoffs. We've yet to talk about the Texans-Ravens game. And to be honest, we haven't really talked a whole lot about Niners-Packers.
No?
Well, we kind of have, but we kind of haven't.
Yeah, I mean, the other two,
The other two what? You left us hanging. What?
Well, you answered my question with, meh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Chiefs-Bills was a meh?
Well, no, I think I was talking about the two that we had.
That we still have.
We still have, it's
I
like.
thought Green Bay-San Fran was great.
Yeah,
Good little ball game.
Yeah, it was kind of ugly.
Good little ball game.
It wasn't pretty. And then the Baltimore game, I mean, the two best games, hands down, were the ones that we talked about, which were Detroit and and then obviously the Bills and the Chiefs. The Bills and the Chiefs game. I mean, come on.
You think we know what we're doing here?
You could spend 4 hours talking about that thing. Did you see the Lions game got 40 million people? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
40 million people watched that thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of millions.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about it.
It is January 22, 2024. This is in the news. I have one more story to disseminate to the people, and it is that restaurant and bar owners who were forced to shut down during last week's winter madness, they are asking Oregon lawmakers to help them recover.
Yeah, I was just saying that some are saying that this is kind of like a tipping point, that they're not going to be able to recover. I mean, obviously the industry's been hurting, and now this, and you think about all the, some people that had flood damage and food spoiled and lost revenue. I mean, it's crippling.
Well, and they're also saying, hey, you need to start realizing that extreme weather events are not rare. So it says some of their asks include working with utility companies to reduce outages and creating a relief fund to assist restaurants with fewer than 100 employees. Right now, they estimate 60% of Western Oregon restaurants are in danger of failing.
Yeah. Well, I saw some people that said that this week, it cost them $175,000, $200,000+, and for, having dealt with everything that they're dealing with, it's said this may be.
A lot of them are still dealing with pandy stuff.
Yeah, we're dealing with pandemic stuff, and then it's absolutely crippling to them. So the other one too, and one of my favorite bars put out a thing saying, hey, not even necessarily us, but Paydirt put something out where they were like, hey, if you enjoy going to a bar in July, you better go to a bar in January, because if you don't, it's not going to be around in July. So they were saying that, obviously no one's going out in the snow, but if you love a particular place or you just appreciate the industry, they're like, order takeout, gift cards, something. Like some of these places are just hanging by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah. They're also asking for more snow plows and salt on the roads.
Yeah. Trying to keep us more upright.
Which I would tend to agree. It's like, how many times do we have to just grin and bear it every year? Or can we, like they're saying, at least admit that it's coming more often?
Yeah. So let's mitigate it.
Let's just try to spend more money on helping us get through it.
Yeah.
So we can function normally, as opposed to sitting in our house for 3 days with no power.
Yeah. Well, for some people, it was more like 4 to 5 days.
I know. I'm just saying, it's like, let's plan. It's coming.
Yeah.
So let's be ready.
Yeah.
Because
there are other places that do have to deal with this, and
Yes.
maybe we are becoming one that has to deal with it every year.
Correct.
Well, and it sucks that being ready for it usually means that you have to have a little bit of money. Like, you got a generator, that costs cash. You got supplies, that costs cash. So I think of the people that are living paycheck to paycheck in these situations. We've got to do better for everybody in the winter.
Look at that. It's a good stance by Schulte right there.
Yeah, it's not unhinged and just kind of.
We've got to do better for everybody in the winter. I agree.
I just
Schulte.
care, and I look outside and I see people struggling, and I'm like,
Schultz, I'm not
That
counting.
sucks.
I'm not counting this as one of your weird soapbox rants. I'm not
No,
happy.
it doesn't count, but I like it.
Yeah.
You're a man of the people. That's what
Appreciate
you
that.
are. And I'd vote for you.
We're busy handing out tents and spoons.
2028, baby. No, God, no, never.
2028, you're not going to run?
No.
Schultz will clean up these streets.
I've been saying for years.
One pair of cargo shorts at a time.
I've been saying for years, Massachusetts Congressman Joe Kennedy. I don't know why they don't just go with the Kennedy name again, a young face in it. I think it would work, and it might actually bring the country together. But nobody listens to me.
You think something's bringing the country together?
Oh, I'm not voting for you.
Nice try, jackass. Try to bring us together. I'm going to get angry at you now.
There's in the news, Jan 22, 2024. The Hot 5 at 5 is coming up next. A lot of coaching nuggets. And will Deebo Samuel play this weekend? It is 4:58 on the Fan.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so.
right, welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Monday. It's your Sports Bros, Romp and Souk. I'm Romp.
Sada.
And there's Big Souk right over there.
Right here.
Dead saw.
Schulte is here for one final week. He is giving way to Ryan Buckley's return on Friday. Can you believe that? Ryan Buckley will be back.
12 weeks.
God.
Whatever the hell he's been doing.
So, what'd you say there, Schultz?
Said it's flown by. At least from my perspective. You guys has probably been like, get this guy the hell out of here. Well,
yeah, you're a bit of an anchor. But
I don't want to say anything.
You're not the first person to tell me that.
No, we love you, Schulte.
I love you guys too.
Do we want Buck back? I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Feel it out.
I'll give it a week or so. And, it's been so long. We've moved on. We're a completely different show now, Buckley. I'm sorry. We've evolved past you.
Coming up tonight in the club, would you buy a subscription to Applebee's?
Well, I will say they got that new commercial going on right now. They got unlimited wings, ribs, and something else for like $9.
That's perfect for my grandma.
It's eating good. Hey, Greg Oden's favorite restaurant.
And is a fan personality stealing beer here at Odyssey Portland.
Ooh. Is Buckley back already? Do we have another thief here at the Fan?
Seems that we may.
Interesting.
We have a thief here in the building. I don't know if it's from the Fan.
Caught on HD cameras, I hope.
Every time I'm here, there's no one from any other station here. So
yeah, I'm not certain that there are other stations at this point. I feel like it's just us and maybe Terry Boyd.
Yeah, I know he does mornings, right?
Yeah.
On KGON.
Let's blame Terry.
This reminds me of the time that you remember when we went to Dallas to cover the Ducks and they were playing.
That was the Ohio State National Championship, I believe.
And we went and did our show in a studio there. And I forget, it wasn't an Odyssey set of stations. It was, I don't know who owned it, but they sent us there, and boy, it was a ghost town. Do you remember that?
Yes, it was.
I think I saw. It was creepy.
Yeah.
It was like there's all these old studios, and it felt like post-apocalyptic. Like,
you
I
felt
think
like
I saw one guy in the coffee room once.
Yeah, you felt like it was a weird, because it used to be like a big station, and then everything kind of went like automation.
Yeah,
and so you just felt like at any moment like an evil clown was going to come around the corner. It was like some sort of horror movie. Yeah, it was strange.
Weird. Well, that's kind of what we're turning into.
A little bit. Have
you noticed that?
Yeah, if you gave someone a tour of the building, you'd think it was like this bustling like newsroom sort of thing. It's not.
It's not at all.
No, it's like three of us, and then occasionally like there's a salesperson that's hungover, like sleeping on a couch or something.
Right, or avoiding their family.
Yeah, Kurt, I'm looking at you. Yeah, it's a weird situation we got going on over here.
Good times. Well, coming up this hour, we'll get back to
an Odyssey station.
Yes, we'll get back to the NFL playoff games. But right now, the Hot 5 at 5.
Oh! Hot topics, hot opinions.
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
And hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Souk.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Souk. Brought to you on the Fan by Victorico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Online at victoricos.com. Bro. Number 5.
Hall of Fame second baseman Ryne Sandberg has been diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer.
Well, that's not good.
He is 64 years old.
He was one of those guys that I'll never forget because, growing up, we got 3 teams. Like you watch the Cubs, the Braves, and the Mets. And, Sandberg was, he was
Rhino. He was awesome.
Part of my childhood.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
In free agency news, your Mets, he says they're going to fight like hell.
Well, I would hope so. And prostate cancer is often very treatable.
It is, but this is advanced.
Yeah, it's not good. It's probably spread.
Your Mets were sniffing around reliever Aroldis Chapman, but he chose a much more stable franchise, signing a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I've never been happier for the Mets to not sign someone than that douche canoe, who's not even good anymore. Yeah. Go away.
It's sad I'm begging for the Mariners to sign him. It's sad.
Really?
I would take him.
That's
over
who you want?
Anybody better than they've gotten this offseason, and he would be one of those players.
That's a hard pass for me.
He's kind of hit or miss. Like sometimes he'd look great, and then other times he'd just be a gas can out there. Oregon State offensive lineman Marco Brewer has been arrested.
Yeah.
Charged with 4th-degree assault following a domestic violence incident.
DV on a positive note, Joshua Gray's coming back. Trying to give you some positive Oregon State O-line news.
Well, apparently he grabbed a woman's arm during an argument, scratching her, bruising her. He is a former starter, but if you don't recognize his name, it's because he didn't play this last season due to a torn ACL.
So, not good. But at the same time, I'm not going to go there. There's just levels to that. It's unacceptable, but, he didn't... Is it bad to say he didn't beat her up? Like, it's low expectations, but I guess it could have been worse. Although that sounds terrible.
You should stop talking.
I should probably stop. Well, when you hear it, aren't you immediately, you're like, oh, God, Greg Hardy sort of situation. It's not good.
I say nothing.
There's levels, Rob. There's levels.
Who was it that said, let's try to make sure we're not promoting?
That is instantly where I went. I was like, God, that's a Stephen A. Smith sort of thing. Now I'm just saying. Yeah, it was the Ray Rice thing.
Make sure we're not wearing tight clothing.
Stephen
You
A.
and Stephen A. have something
Stephen
in
A.
common.
basically telling girls, make sure you don't get yourself punched. Good one, Stephen.
The Lakers are trying to trade for Hawks guard DeJounte Murray.
Also sniffing around Malcolm Brogdon, apparently, as well.
Yeah, Danny Meringue saying, prepare to end your love affair with Malcolm Brogdon. He will not be a Blazer for much longer.
Oh, no.
They're going to trade him.
Whatever are they going to do without him?
But it sounds like they're not going to trade Jeremy Grant, or are they?
Well, supposedly that's... Grant, when they signed the deal, they said he was part of their long-term solution, but they also said the Scoot was going to have no problems adjusting to the NBA, so...
He's had a few problems.
Yeah, just a bit.
You can go to that lake.
I'm going to go to that lake.
Number two.
Becker before text line. Suk, maybe you should stop talking for a little while. Yeah.
Tight end Zach Ertz signing with the Lions. He will start out on the practice squad, but could be elevated to play on Sunday. This after Detroit lost backup tight end Brock Wright in Sunday's game.
Yeah, Laporta's the only tight end they have that's healthy, so...
Is he kind of two tight ends, though, as good as he is? That guy's awesome.
But he's playing on one leg, too, so... And Ertz, his position coach in Detroit was his position coach before, and he's a vet. They'll have some packages for him. I mean, believe it or not, at this point, that's about as good as you're going to get to fill a roster spot like that.
The Lions are touchdown underdogs in San Francisco. The Niners say Deebo Samuel is 50-50 to play due to that shoulder injury.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, he makes a huge world of difference for them. And you look at Detroit, and the one thing that Detroit does well is they stop the run. And they're going to load up to stop the run, which means there's going to be plays to be made in that secondary. And, having Deebo in there, that could be the difference in the game.
My man Deebs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Number one.
Then again, it might not be.
They'll put a brace on that thing. They're going to load him up with every painkiller known to man. And when he's 50-50, he's going to find a way to go.
I could burn the Lions secondary.
There are plays to be made. But as bad as their secondary is, give their defense credit. They find ways to get stops and keep their team in ball games.
And we have coaching news, all from the NFL. Bengals, their offensive coordinator, Brian Callahan, is expected to be named the new head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Schefter said he came in for a second interview and they were not going to let him out of the building.
Ooh, they love him.
They love him. Well, and he's up for other jobs too, so he's going to be the guy there. They're just working on some deets.
Well, anybody that can make Jake Browning look that good.
Yeah, right?
I say hire him.
Go get him.
Now, the Seahawks have lost their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, to the same position with the Bears. I'm not sure why they wanted him. His offense was no better than 15th in any major category, but they took him, so whatever.
Welcome to the Bears. Although that would be an upgrade for the Bears. They're like 15th. Let's go.
The Eagles are keeping Nick Sirianni, but he has fired his defensive coordinator, Sean Desai. So he's going to interview Ron Rivera for that position. They're also saying that the Eagles could turf their offensive coordinator next. Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris is getting a second interview with our Seahawks, but also the Panthers, Commanders, and Falcons. Dan Quinn is getting a second interview in Seattle, as well as the Commanders and also the Titans, but now that seems to be out. And then Alabama loses its offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees. He is going to the NFL. He's going to the Browns.
Yeah, to be a tight ends coach.
Yeah.
What?
He wanted out of there.
I guess. You would think
it pissed him off. He wanted that head coaching job.
You would think there's a better job out there than being the tight ends coach for the Browns.
Well, they have a good tight end, right? Like Njoku.
Yeah, but still. tight ends coach seems like a bit of a backward step, unless he just didn't want to deal with the whole NIL thing. And then apparently the hoodie, he's had 2 interviews down in Atlanta, but I guess he's now all pissy because he hates Rich McKay, who's running the whole ship down there in Atlanta.
Oh, that'll go well.
I guess they have a long-standing beef, so Bill's doesn't know if he wants to work there because he said basically the report is that he doesn't want to report to anybody, let alone someone he doesn't like. So
I can understand that. But
Bill's already up to it. Why would you interview twice?
Interviewing there if you don't like the GM, like that's not going to work, Bill.
No.
Even I can see that. What the hell?
This is why
I can't even imagine.
That's why I'm just saying. Everyone thinking that Bill's like this slam dunk wherever he goes. Dude, that guy hasn't listened to anyone in 25 years. And you're telling me he's just going to slide seamlessly into a position where he has to report to 2 or 3 people? Have fun. Have fun with that.
The Hot 5 at 5 is brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Order now at victorricos.com. Back to our NFL playoff plums next on The Fan.
Yeah. The home of dirt.
Before text line, build with the Bills. That is kind of one of those things that's being like kicked around now, is the idea that Bill Belichick is going to be the one to step in and fix the Buffalo Bills. And this is what I was saying kind of before the break with the Belichick stuff. Look, no one's doubting Bill's greatness and what he built. But again, it ends for everyone. And he's like 72 going on what is 73 years old. The idea that he's just going to step seamlessly in and fix what's ever wrong with the Buffalo Bills. Like Sean McDermott may end up getting fired over this. again, it happened with Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy got canned, and they kept winning the division down there in Tampa, but couldn't get over the hump. But this idea that Bill is going to fix Atlanta or Buffalo or Philly or any of these teams, just be careful what you wish for. That it's not like he did a great job before Brady, and it's not like he did a great job after Brady.
Well, I think the idea with Bill, isn't it defense? Buffalo has fallen short on defense under McDermott, and he's a defensive guy.
He's a defensive guy, yeah.
So maybe you just give Bill the D and then
because he's
let
done
Josh Allen just run the offense. I don't know.
No offensive coordinator. Bring in Matt Patricia.
Yeah, there you go, Matt Patricia.
I'm all for it. If Buffalo decided to get rid of Sean McDermott, I do not think that'd be the worst thing in the world. But I certainly would not go down the road of let's put a temporary patch of a 72-year-old Bill in there.
What about Vrabel to Buffalo?
Yeah, I could see that. Again,
I think that's an upgrade.
I do.
Enough of an upgrade to make a change.
I do. Although, to be honest with you, I'm not certain that a culture, like there's two different types of coaches, right? You have a Mike Tomlin of Vrabel that are more culture builders, Dan Campbell, and someone that is a keen mind as far as building X's and O's. And I don't know. I think I might lean that way just a scooch going with that. But yeah, I think Vrabel would be an upgrade because at some point, you just have to wonder that if old Sean McDermott, who apparently loves Middle Eastern terrorists, like maybe it's time for a new voice in a locker room.
Yeah, maybe the two old guys. Maybe you do it'd be like a buddy cop sort of thing with Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, and you bring in the two olds and
I just don't know.
Take over co-head coaches. What do you think?
I just don't know outside of president for some ungodly reason why anyone wants a 72 to 73-year-old guy to come in and take over an organization. It makes
he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT, man.
Again, everyone at some point was the GOAT. Michael Jordan may be the GOAT, but I don't want him as my two guard right now.
I brought this up a couple weeks ago on Primetime. Imagine 2004 hiring Bill Walsh to be a head coach in the NFL. That's literally minus, of course, I know Belichick's been coaching, but that is what we are doing. That's what we're looking at right now. Oh, Carroll, Belichick? Well, I don't know. Has the game passed him by? I don't care.
I would rather bring in an offensive guy to help Josh Allen because what you have in Buffalo, the best thing going is Josh Allen. And as good as Josh Allen has been, and I'm not putting the loss entirely on Josh. Obviously, there were some shortcomings there. I don't think he's been the same since Daboll left. And so to me, I would rather bring in a guy that is going to help the offensive side of the ball and help the best thing I have, and that is Josh Allen, and then go find someone and hopefully just the injuries, which were just so brutal to Buffalo. I mean, think about how close Buffalo came, and it really was on both sides of the ball, but especially on the defensive side. There was just too many losses there to overcome a Kansas City team that, even though it's their worst version, they got that 15 guy back there. And
I don't think there were too many losses to overcome. I think they should have won the game. I think McDermott, as good as he is, I don't know, man. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think they're winning a Super Bowl with him. Period.
Yeah,
they need to make a change.
Yeah, that to me is not a foolish statement. I just and not being there again. Has he lost the locker room? Does his voice grow stale? I don't know. But Buffalo,
I think he should be fired for the fake punt alone.
It's funny that the Hardman fumble really saved his ass, because now when you look at it, you can blame the kicker, you can blame Stephon Diggs on the drop pass, you can blame Allen for the poor decision on second and third down, short-arming the one. I don't know what he was doing on the third down, rolling out and throwing to the end zone again. Certainly the fumble, which could have ended the game. Like, there's a lot to blame, but if Hardman doesn't fumble that, we are all looking at Sean McDermott and like, your dumbass in a 3-point game from your 35 decided to run a fake punt to DeMar Hamlin? What? And then Kansas City goes down and scores, goes up by 10 points, game's over. So McDermott really did get bailed out. I do think his ass would get fired had Hardman not fumbled into the end zone.
Imagine if Mike McCarthy had done that.
Oh, you do pitchforks.
Yes.
Pitchforks. Yes. It's inexcusable. So, and that's the thing, is if you're Buffalo now, you have gone backwards. You have not gotten to where you were 4 years ago, not once. And so, I mean, you say this about Tomlin. I don't think you should fire Mike Tomlin, but if you look at Tomlin over the last 6 or 7 years, it's a results-based business. So
but
sometimes
he doesn't have a Josh Allen, though.
No, he doesn't. And Buffalo does. And so
They had Ben Roethlisberger, and then they didn't have Ben Roethlisberger. I think it's a very different scale to judge him on.
So if you're Buffalo, again, do you just sit there and say, we just continue to roll this thing back? When there's a lot of tough decisions, they either have to shed a ton of salary or basically commit to their roster and just restructure all these contracts and say, this is basically our team for the next 3 to 4 years going forward. So there are this is a big off season for Buffalo, which direction you want to go.
Yeah, his cap hit, Josh Allen's cap hit was $18 million.
Yep.
This year, it is $47 million next season.
Yeah.
And then he's got 2 years after that over 50.
And there's basically like 11 guys that are going to have to be either restructured or you're just going to go with a youth movement and hope that Allen can carry for a year or two.
I hope they have a good GM.
We'll see what happens.
The Niners, I saw that. I don't know how many other people were kind of shocked at that stat that they showed. In the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter against the Packers, they flashed up on the screen that the Niners were 0-30.
Yeah.
When trailing by 5 or more points entering the fourth quarter under Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
I was floored by that.
Yeah, it certainly is not the narrative that you think about.
I'm like, oh my God. And then I started thinking about it and like, well, Kyle Shanahan's had some bad seasons there. I mean, as good as he is, he's had a couple years where it got away from him.
Well, yeah, because and largely it's an injury thing. When they have been healthy, they
still
perform.
Not one come from behind win in the fourth quarter.
So strange.
And it's not even, 5 points. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, now they're 1-30.
Thanks to the greatness that is Brock Purdy.
Hey, give him credit, man.
Yeah, it's just, again, we're going back to the talking head thing is that, either you like Brock Purdy or you don't. And I swear to God, there's nothing that guy is going to do that's ever going to change that. Brock Purdy could win the Super Bowl this year and people are still going to find a way to bag on him. And he can get to a Super Bowl and put up a Jalen Hurts-like performance and we'll dog him back. Well, he can't win the big one.
Is it just because he was not... Well, it's just because he was Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah. And
is that why?
And he's not great. Like, we know he's not great. And we as a society of NFL people, fans, writers, talking heads, loudmouth yellers and screamers, if you're not Patrick Mahomes, we will not give you any credit.
Is Jared Goff great, though?
No, he's really good.
But he's getting a lot of love.
Well, wait till he loses. And then we're going to go right back to this. This is why Sean McVay got rid of him, because you knew you can't win with him. Like, we give at any time, we give like 3 quarterbacks credit. That's all we have. We have there's like a limit to the love that we can distribute around quarterbacks. And it's like, sorry. We're all loving Pat Mahomes, and as well we should. We're busy loving Lamar Jackson right now, who, by the way, I would like to point out, just last offseason, everyone hated, and that no one wanted him, and he was a bum, and he couldn't stay healthy, and he couldn't win in the playoffs. But now we're loving him, and I'm trying to think, that may be it. Although, no, because we like golf now. So that's it. We got 3. No room for anyone else. Sorry, Brock. You're terrible. We hate you no matter what. Because the adage was that Brock Purdy was just a product of the system and he was a check down guy. Well, this year he led the league in downfield passing. Well, he's only doing that because he's got time to throw an elite run game and he's got great receivers. He can't win the big one. He can't win when it matters. So he doesn't play a very good game, but he puts together the game-winning drive, and he's phenomenal in that drive, including some big-time passes. That one he had to, I think it was Ayuk, the sliding catch. It's as good a throw as you'll see. It's unbelievable.
I thought the Kittle touchdown was pretty solid.
Yeah, money. And yet, here we are, and we're like, yeah, he may have led the game-winning drive, but did you see the way he played the rest of the game? Meanwhile, Jordan Love played in the same conditions, played like crap, 2 inexcusable interceptions, but we're like, Jordan Love's got a bright future. Brock Purdy, you're a product of the system. It's like we just, you can't keep moving the goalposts on these guys, and yet we continue to do it with quarterbacks in this league time and time again. So Brock at this point, I think when you look at Brock, you know that in the Shanahan system with good players around him, he's really good and you can win a lot of games with him. But if he goes into the Super Bowl and he's playing against Lamar or he's playing against Patrick Mahomes, of course he's going to be the underdog because he's not a 2-time MVP. Like, what do you want him to do? Just because you're not Lamar Jackson, you're not Patrick Mahomes, doesn't mean you're terrible. By the way, either quarterback that comes out of the NFC is going to be a giant dog because it's either going to be Brock Purdy and Jared Goff, 2 very solid quarterbacks, against either the best player in the league or the 2-time MVP.
Do you think that, so I'm thinking Baltimore will be favored over the Niners if it comes to that?
Oh, I bet you they'll be favored by 5.5, 6 points.
I don't know about that.
Dude,
but they'll be favored.
They depantsed
the Kansas City
49ers.
The Kansas City Niners spread. You think the Niners would be underdogs to Kansas City? I don't know that they would.
I bet you
it'd be really close.
I bet you they'd still be a dog. I wonder if we could do a look ahead line. I bet we could.
They're probably out there.
I'm gonna say if it's Kansas City, San Francisco, I'm gonna say Kansas City's favored by 2, simply because of the 2.5, and against Baltimore, I'll bet you that's at least 5.5.
I'm going to go 3.5 Baltimore favored over the Niners. And I'm going to go. Ooh, that's good.
I'm going to look and see. Because there's got to be future lines.
Niners minus 2.5. Niners minus 2.5 over Kansas City. Baltimore minus 3.5 over the Niners. That's what I'm guessing.
All right. I'm going to say, I'll see during the break if I can.
And by the way,
this.
37 million people watch the Niners-Packers game.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
They said that is the most watched Saturday broadcast on television since the Tanya Harding-Nancy Kerrigan Olympics.
Get right the hell out of town.
Yeah. And that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago when we had, 7 channels to choose from.
Why?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it wasn't that moment, but it was the Olympics. Remember the, well, you might be too young, Schultze, but, man, that Olympic Games, we were looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
We had the lace and all that, and it broke, and that was a whole thing.
All right, we'll touch on the final game that we have tried to avoid, the Houston Ravens matchup.
It was fun for
coming up
a half.
We'll do that next here, Schultze.
Now, from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update is brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction. Check out their award-winning outdoor living designs or schedule your free design consultation at vulcandc.com. First on The Fan, breaking in the last half an hour, NFL Network is reporting that the Tennessee Titans are working to finalize a deal with Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan to become their next head coach. They had brought him in for his second interview today, and reportedly the Titans are not letting Callahan leave the building. Elsewhere, the Carolina Panthers announcing that they are promoting assistant GM Dan Morgan to be their next general manager full-time. He's been in Carolina since 2021. He also spent time in Seattle and Buffalo as their director of player personnel. NFL Network also reporting that the Lions are signing tight end Zach Ertz to their practice squad. They do plan to elevate him to the active roster for Sunday's game against the 49ers. That's after Brock Wright injured his forearm in yesterday's win over Tampa Bay. And ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting that Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh is expected to meet with the Chargers for a second time regarding their head coaching vacancy. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk. The pro football playoffs are here. Watch and wager on every game at Spirit Mountain Casino. Visit spiritmountain.com.
Go deeper on the Trailblazers. The Rose Garden Report with host Sean Highkin. Download the Rose Garden Report on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. It's time for Who's Leading the Charge? A look under the hood at the coaches, players, and teams getting it done. Brought to you by Battery Exchange.
2nd and 2. Jackson out of the gun. Runs the pocket to his right. Throws toward the end zone. Leaping grab. Isaiah Likely. Over the top of Derek Stingley. Touchdown. Ravens 15 yards from Lamar Jackson. It's 23-10 Baltimore.
Tell you what, though, there was a point where you were like, here we go again with the Ravens.
That's a great touchdown, though. They ran quarterback draw action off of that, and Lamar just popped up and threw it up to a 6'5 receiver on a 5'10 corner. It's unfair. That Baltimore woke up in the second half and just Houston had no chance.
System checks at 14 area locations, Battery Exchange with an X.com.
Head Sook for my hometown dealer, Van.
for the four potential Super Bowl matchups. The Niners would be favored over the Ravens.
Dude, that is stunning.
Niners minus 1.5.
The Ravens in San Francisco picked off Purdy 4 times, absolutely depanced him, ran roughshod over that defense. It's not that the Niners have played great since. Baltimore is crushing people, and somehow the Niners are favored in that game?
Well, you got to remember the Niners are a much more popular team, so they're going to be bet more, just blindly. People will bet more on the Niners than the Ravens. But also, you mentioned it, Purdy threw 4 interceptions. If he doesn't, it's a different game. And I also think, they could be doing the revenge thing there too. It's like, you lost to him once. And the first time the Ravens were actually 6.5-point underdogs.
Yeah, they were dogs.
6.5, almost a touchdown.
And then they put their foot in their ass.
I mean, I don't know.
That surprises me.
Well, it's just that I think they're, and odds makers never do this, but the public does. We overreact to one game. And as good as Baltimore looked in that game, we should take it with a grain of salt. It's a different matchup, so it's just that, that's telling you a lot to me that the Niners would be favored over the Ravens. And then you have Ravens minus 4.5 over the Lions, the Niners minus 3 over the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs minus 3 over the Lions.
Yeah. So there's your look ahead. I think the one that I would most like to see.
Oh, come on. Baltimore, San Francisco. Isn't it?
I need Detroit in there.
Really?
I need me some Dan Campbell. I think the better game would be San Francisco, but look, I may be off base. I just think Baltimore they just look different. I think Baltimore is your Super Bowl champ, and I would rather see Detroit. I think it'd be crazy to see the Lions in there and Dan Campbell in the Super Bowl. I think it'd be fantastic. But yeah, for the sake of the game, San Francisco, Baltimore has better maybe a better feel to it. I just need Kansas City to not be there. I love Pat Mahomes, but I'm not ready for Kelsey and Reed and Mahomes. I'm not ready for 2 weeks of that again. I'm not ready for is he better than Tom
Taylor
Brady?
Swift.
I need it to be over. Although Jason Kelsey, I could handle some shirtless Jason Kelsey all day. He stole the show. Who cares about Taylor Swift? Give me drunk ass Jason Kelsey with his shirt off.
So the Texans and Ravens, 10-10 at half, 34-10 final. Texans got outgained on the ground, 229-38. So that's probably all you need to know.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, and even in the first half, like you said, when it was 10-10, the Houston offense did nothing.
Well, they got 3 points the whole game.
Yeah. I mean, it's just nothing. I mean, the Baltimore just absolutely,
the Ravies,
they just suffocated them. And that's why I think as awesome as it was that game with Buffalo and Kansas City, I just think that Baltimore right now, they have that look, and it happens every now and then where there is just a team in the NFL that just looks better than everyone else. And right now, to me, that is Baltimore.
Yeah, but that's what they said about the Vikings that year. They lost to the freaking Falcons out of nowhere. Falcons with Chris Chandler at quarterback,
and had their kicker had missed a field goal all year. And you're right in that if you are going to doubt someone, be careful doubting Patrick Mahomes, who went on the road his first time ever in a playoff game, and
I feel good
slayed the dragon again.
I feel good about Baltimore winning that game, but I also feel like it's going to be really close, and that's where Patrick Mahomes can come in and steal one.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, come on. We thought Bills Chiefs was must-see TV. So was Ravens Chiefs. Come on,
be fantastic.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, you got a 2-time MVP in Lamar trying to finally get over the hump. You got, if Mahomes finds a way to do this again with this team, you want to talk about a crowning achievement, because the Chiefs aren't that good, and his offensive weapons are.
Well, they look good.
They're
playing great.
And Kelsey found a way to kind of turn back the clock, who hadn't been playing very well. Although Hardman, again, his offensive weapons tried to screw him over again by letting Buffalo in that game with that stupid fumble. Hardman touched the ball 3 times for 1 yard and had 2 fumbles, including at the time, which looked to be maybe the biggest play of the game when he fumbled it through the end zone.
I have a Lamar stat for you.
All right. What do we got for Lamar?
So they said they took this all the way back to 1948, and there was no game in the playoffs or the regular season where a player did this. He is the first ever with 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing, and over a 100 passer rating in any one game.
Yeah, he went 16-22 for 152, 2 tutties, 11 carries, 100 yards. That's a 9-yard clip, by the way, 2 touchdowns.
It's never happened.
No. And this is the other one I look at. Josh Allen had such success running against Kansas City. In fact, the thing that Kansas City did best in the second half is they didn't allow Josh Allen to run, although, he only attempted 1 run that entire third quarter. They only had 4 possessions the entire second half, but I really thought that Buffalo got away from that, and he was cooking them, and there's just no one in the league right now that presents the kind of problems that Lamar does, and he hasn't run that much this year, and I was wondering if they were going to do this, and, it's one game against Houston, but they have kept him in the pocket quite a bit. And this is what I've always said about Allen, any of these guys. Hurts, we don't need you to run the ball 12 times in week 13. I don't need you to do it in week 9. I don't need you to do it in week 16. Play in the pocket, stay healthy, and be the number 1 seed. And when we get to the postseason, training wheels come off. It's with Justin Herbert in the Pac-12 title game and in the Rose Bowl. Time to go, man. If I'm Harbaugh, if I'm Baltimore, I tell him, dude, I don't care. You run as much as you want. That's what Buffalo did that whole first half. That was Josh Allen. When was Buffalo at their best against the Chiefs? When Josh Allen was running the ball. And I get Allen's just this big physical thing and Lamar isn't, but there is no more dynamic weapon in the NFL than Lamar Jackson. And God help anyone if they just turn him loose and decide that he's just going to run, because there's nothing, including Pat Mahomes, who's the best player. There's nothing in the league that's harder to prepare for than Lamar. Go back and look at the clip we had that Lamar threw that touchdown pass. That was our Who's Leading the Charge report, where he threw it up to
Likely.
Yeah, Likely. Go back and watch that play. They ran a little bunch formation, right? Like a little tight set. And Lamar took the shotgun snap and immediately headed right for the line. That looked like power G quarterback run the entire way. And you're from whatever it was, like the 15-yard line. And then just out of nowhere, he just pulls up and casually has a little Otto Graham jump pass over the top. Like, how do you defend that in a league where the best weapon you have is play action? When you look at the quarterbacks that have been really successful, play action is a quarterback's best friend. How do you defend the RPO and the play action when you have a weapon like that they turn loose in Lamar? And San Francisco couldn't deal with it. Houston didn't deal with it. And I'll be interested to see how a very good Kansas City defense deals with it.
We were talking on Friday about how teams coming off of buys fared in the playoffs, and it's not nearly as good as you think.
No, it's right, about 50-50, right?
Well, no, it was under 500 against the spread. And they had won, maybe 65, 70% of the games just straight up. But not quite as dominant as you think. I think people think, oh, you get the extra rest. It's so important. I actually thought both bye teams were a little rusty.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that's going to be – because now you only have one team with the bye.
Yep.
And we think of that as such a huge advantage. It didn't seem that way because Baltimore did not play well in the first half, but then they woke up, and the Niners just had a weird game altogether.
Well, and it was the torrential downpour, and you could tell that it was really bothering Brock. And McCaffrey even said it. Like he just said it. Just nothing about that game felt right at the beginning.
But when did they add another team to the playoffs, and so that no one gets a bye? Because that's coming.
Well, if 40 million people keep tuning into these damn games, eventually going to be like, let's just add one more of these.
I guarantee they're going to talk about that. One team gets a bye. Well, that's not really all that fair. Let's add another playoff team. We'll make another $800 million.
What did Peacock pay for the one playoff game?
$110 million.
$110 million?
Yeah, so if you added another playoff team this year, it would be like Seattle or New Orleans or Jacksonville getting in.
You just see the owners sitting around and being like, 110. I bet we can get that up to 150, spread that out over 32 teams. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
The fun part, too, is that money, the players don't get game checks, their normal game checks. They just get the playoff payouts, which aren't that much. The owner's just sitting there, Yosemite Sam 2 cash guns every time they add another playoff game. And look, as crappy as I think some of those teams at the back end are, I have watched every second of the playoffs. I couldn't get enough. Even the Baltimore game that didn't end up being compelling.
That's what I told you. I said, the NFL can expand the playoffs, and you can sit and bitch about, oh, that team doesn't deserve it. That team's not going anywhere. They're not that good. Well, that's what people said about Green Bay, and Green Bay is damn near in the NFC title game.
No kidding.
You know, I mean,
if Savage intercepts either one of those balls, especially the one at the beginning, which would have been a pick six.
And that's a team that barely snuck into the playoffs.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear this crap about we don't want more NFL playoff. Yes, we do. I want the whole league in the playoffs.
Wouldn't it have been something if Jordan Love had found a way to pull that off? You want to talk about just the hype train having left the station.
I thought they were doing it.
Well, you can make an argument that they were the better team.
Oh, they outplayed them for sure.
And yet, here we are talking about San Francisco. And I'll give anyone, credit that wins without their fastball, right? And San Francisco won without their fastball. And I think you can say that, that didn't look like a championship team, but I go the other way, that when you find a way to win games that you shouldn't, and that's like Kansas City. This version of Kansas City is nowhere near the version we've seen in the past. And you want to know what the greatness of Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes is they're winning with Hardman and Valdez-Scantling and two tackles that have 19,000 penalties. They're winning this. That is how you know Kansas City is great.
Yep.
That this version of them is in the AFC title game again.
Not to be messed with.
And I do think Baltimore is that much better. But if we're sitting here next Monday and we're talking about Kansas City in the Super Bowl, you know who's not going to be surprised, even though I'm picking against him? This guy.
Does he have two thumbs?
Yeah. You're looking right at him.
You better not pick against him in the Super Bowl if they get there, idiot.
No, if they get there,
you just got to ride that train then.
If they beat Baltimore, who is the best team in football, if they beat Baltimore, I will shut up and just be like, you set the line whatever you wanted to. I'm betting on Kermit the Frog and Andy Reid.
Up next, could this be an unbreakable record? It's 5:47 on the Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics, brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
A little bit of an ouchie for the Ducks men's basketball team. They lost to Utah yesterday. Second loss of the Pac-12 season.
Yeah, they've been rolling. Unranked, though, even though they're 13-16. Getting healthy, at least.
13-16?
Or 13-6, sorry.
The hell?
Yeah. A lot of losses mixed in there.
Yeah, they're unranked. Typical Dana Altman.
The brush.
Bunch. Watch out.
Once football's over, then we'll start caring about college basketball.
Right. Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
Play golf where it's always warm.
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
1080 The Fan invites you to play in the first annual Fan Winter Golf Classic at X Golf Tualatin and X Golf Vancouver, Tuesday, February 27th. We have an early round and a late round at both locations. Danny and Dusty and Isaac and Suk will broadcast live. Fabulous prizes are on the line, including lessons for the worst team. Sign your threesome up now at 1080thefan.com.
Is your heater safe? Your furnace requires routine maintenance to withstand its life. Keep it running like new, and most importantly, make sure it's safe to run in your home. Get a 27-point furnace tune-up, which includes a 1-inch high-efficiency filter for $59. Plus, we'll check your AC for free. It will run more efficiently, saving you money in the long run. Call Service Patriots at 503-433-5153 or go to servicepatriots.com for details. Limited time offer. Restrictions may apply. License number ARPRPH915LK.
Hey, it's Suk here with Steve from Crunch with the Crunch Fitness Minute. Talking about some fitness tips for the office. If you're trying to kind of just generally, Steve, talk to people about kind of getting into fitness and maybe trying to live a better life, what are some good tips you can say for the office?
Well, it's another great question, Suk, because there are actually things you can do without actually working out. And let me give you a couple of those tips. Number one is make sure you're sitting in the proper position. A lot of people slump in their chair, right? Always adjust your computer so that you're looking straight ahead, not looking down, not looking to the left, not looking to the right. You also need to make sure that you get mini breaks. Get up off your chair, walk around a little bit, stretch a little bit, and making sure that you're not in that same position for too long of a time, because once again, muscle memory will allow your body not to develop the way it should.
That's right. Motion is lotion. Get up, get moving. And whether that's at the office or down at one of the 4 Crunch locations where you can find me just about every day, that's the thing to do. So we'll see you next time here at the Crunch Fitness Minute.
At Spirit Mountain Casino, exhilaration finds you at every turn, and big time winning reaches all new heights. Excitement brings the heat. Comfort sweeps you off your feet. The action, you guessed it, can't be beat. It's Oregon's premier destination. Made for players who love the game. Made for players just like you. So, are you ready to elevate your game? Spirit Mountain Casino.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast. With a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-DO.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JVC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Primetime with Isaac and Suk on 1080 The Fan.
Who the hell are you?
All right, now a segment on sports rarities. I don't know if you saw over the weekend there. We had an amateur win the PGA Tour event at La Quinta. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
An amateur won the PGA Tour event. And
when's the last time that happened?
1991.
Okay, so not,
Phil Mickelson did it.
Maybe not as long. I thought we were going back to some weird Bobby Jones thing.
Well, Mickelson did it. It's pretty rare. Tiger didn't even do it.
Yeah.
But, this kid by the name of Nick Dunlap, and, big boys were playing. Scotty Scheffler was out there, Justin Thomas, Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, all those guys were playing. And this kid won. He's 20 years old. He plays golf at Alabama. He wins the tournament, and he cannot collect the $1.5 million paycheck.
Ouch.
How about that?
Who was the Texas A&M kid that finished in the math? He finished was it the Masters of U.S. Open?
Yeah.
He finished 4th or 5th. And
yeah, I forget his name.
Same thing. It was a huge payday.
But this guy winning allows him. So $1.5 million, he cannot collect that.
You can't turn pro. Be like,
No.
I changed my mind. Like my money, please. Who gets the money?
Well, it goes to the next guy. So the guy who finished second gets the first place payday. It's crazy.
So not fair.
Tasty.
Yeah, I do feel like you should be able to just be like, all right, I was an amateur when I entered the tournament. Now I'm pro. I take the money and I'm going to stop playing college golf.
I got to ask you, if you're
because he's going to.
Yeah, if you're the second guy, you're the second place guy.
Yeah.
And you get
kick him down.
You get 1.5. You stroke him a check for I don't know, a couple hundred G's.
I think I do.
Yeah, you're like, hey, you know what? You earned this.
Yeah.
And,
I think I do.
You keep a mill for yourself, but
Here you go, kid.
Break
and
him off.
something for his caddy, too.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man.
You break him off a little something.
But anyway, you shouldn't cry for him because he's exempt. He won the U.S. Amateur, so he was already going to play in the U.S. Open and all that. But now he's in the Masters. He's in all this till 2026. So he's going to be just fine.
What if he never wins again? This is the only one.
Well, he might not, but he'll win some money out there.
He'll win, yeah. You don't have to win to put your foot in the cash register.
And the other one is, and I tease this by saying, could this be an unbreakable record? If John Harbaugh manages to win the Super Bowl,
be number 2.
You would have. I just don't know how it would be a nearly. I don't think any record's unbreakable, but similar to the Johnny Vandermeer back-to-back no-hitters,
Cal streak maybe.
You would have the record of 2 brothers winning the college football championship and the NFL championship in the same year.
Boy.
2 brothers head coaches. No way that happens.
Son of a gun. I was wondering where you were going to go with that. I didn't even think about the other Harbaugh because how weird is that? In that Harbaugh's first Super Bowl was against his brother.
Yep.
And now, and supposedly there were some hard feelings about that. Jim didn't talk to him for a while. John said that he couldn't talk to him. Jim couldn't talk to him. This one a little better that you both can celebrate a championship. Yeah, that's amazing. And remember too, John in the middle of the national title game, John Harbaugh just showed up on the sidelines in the middle of the game and hugged his brother.
Yeah, baby.
He's like, oh hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I think just imagine the fact. Well, first you'd have to get 2 really close to elite brothers that are both head coaches.
Yeah.
One in the pros, where there's only 32 jobs, one in college. And then they would have to win the championship. They would have to win championships, which is hard enough.
Yeah.
But then do it in the same year? I just don't. I mean, and can you name any other brothers that were that elite of coaches?
I'm trying to think. So I'm just trying to think in general, not even elite, because Jay Gruden sucked, but Jay and John coached at the same time.
But again, both in the NFL.
Both in the NFL, and one sucked. And now doesn't coach at all. The other one is a misogynistic racist, and he's not coaching either. Although supposedly he's in line maybe to be an OC down in New Orleans. Yeah. I wonder if the African-American players are going to love him talking about DeMaurice Smith's big lips. I wonder how that's going to go over. Interesting. I'm just trying to think, is there any other...
Well, you had the Ryan brothers, but they were NFL guys.
Yeah, they were NFL guys.
And they didn't... I mean, nobody won a Super Bowl there.
Well, and one wasn't a head coach. One never would have been a head coach. He was kind of a walking disaster. No, I think if you had to say sports records that will never be broken, and you can't say never. I always thought the Ripken one would be mine. Like, because guys just don't play every day. There's no need to. I always thought the Cal Ripken, whatever that is, how many was it? 3,000?
Over 3,000, and it's not even real. They fudged that so many times.
Yeah, that he played, and then he would sit down. Right.
They would push the start of game times. They postponed it. They turned the lights off one night because he wasn't ready to play like that. That is one of the ultimate, it sticks in my craw. You want a Schultze soapbox? That's not a true freaking record. Cal Ripken Jr. is not an Iron Man. That was the Baltimore Orioles' attempt at trying to make him an Iron Man.
So you're saying he played in 2,632 straight games, and you just said that Cal Ripken is not an Iron Man.
I'm saying that they pushed that to be a record. There was no way he actually would have played in 2,600 straight games.
They helped
unless there was some cheating by MLB and Baltimore.
He still played in 2,600 straight games.
Okay.
26-32.
All right.
Schulte's not buying it. I've never heard that opinion before.
No, I've never once heard that. God, I love it. I love the weird soapbox. But
said,
I may go down the road of that will never happen again.
Yeah, how does that happen?
It won't.
If Harbaugh pulls it off, if John wins one,
it won't.
I mean, come on, man. That's crazy.
There's just no way. That never even crossed my mind that that's a real possibility. And do you think when it happens that Jim will still be pissed that his brother, that's Jim's crowning achievement, right? He won a national title at his alma mater. Do you think, because knowing how competitive it is, do you think he would be slightly somewhere deep down pissed that John one-upped him again by winning the Super Bowl? He's like, hey, it's a really cute national championship ring that, is worth maybe $3,000. Have you seen my Super Bowl ring, my second one that's worth $250,000 with real diamonds in it? Like, you seen that?
Yeah, I think Jim would be pissed. I do.
It's just all the more reason why I want it to happen. Gives him one of those weird, awkward Jim Schwartz slap hugs at the end of the game.
Nice game. Eye roll. Fernando Tatis hit 2 grand slams in the same inning. Never be broken. That happened this year. That had never been done. Did you know that?
I think I remember us talking about that.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Is that harder than back-to-back no-hitters?
No.
In 2 straight starts?
No.
By the same guy?
No, you get one, obviously the opportunity to even come up twice in the same inning with the bases loaded, but, you get some gas can in there. Or,
hey, just play the Mets.
You get some position player. It's a blowout game. Now, that one...
it had never been done.
Yeah, I know. I'm still taking I would still do the back-to-back no-hitters, or certainly the Harbaugh brother thing.
All right, that's it for sports. You guys like sports?
You like sports? I love sports.
Well, we're done with it. Would you buy a subscription to Applebee's?
I'm trying to think of the last time I ate at an Applebee's.
That kicks off the club next on The Fan.
Portland Perks.
Right now, the
80.
So much sports. It's about as hard as we've sports in a while.
Well, we love football here.
Yeah.
It's
football!
We like to talk about it with you.
Yeah. And golf, apparently.
Yeah, that was, that I had to corkscrew that in because
in there.
We would never get to it otherwise.
Nah. Thought it was the end.
Had to be today. And, it hadn't been done in 40 years.
Slip that one in there.
30 some years.
We got a weird Schultz soapbox out of it, too.
The Schultz box.
That pansy that is Cal Ripken. But
come on.
Candy ass.
He's not a pansy.
He's not an Iron Man.
It's just that there are records out there that sometimes you don't really know the full history behind. And it's not just the whole light story, which people have tried to prove that wrong. But would anybody actually admit that, oh, no, we really did turn the lights off
fired up
for Cal Ripken Jr.? Like, no.
Goes up like 4 octaves.
Tell you what, I've got a buddy who used to work in the Orioles organization, and he did not speak highly of Cal Ripken.
Really?
Yeah.
There's like one guy on the planet that hates Cal Ripken?
No, he just said...
universally beloved.
No, well, he is, but so is George Brett, and I can tell you George Brett is an a-hole.
Oh, lots of people know that Brett's an a-hole.
I don't know, man.
I've never heard anyone with a bad story about Cal Ripken. What, did he hate dogs and kids?
Well, he's not that nice of a guy. Apparently, he's kind of a pea.
Interesting.
I mean, he's
like a Will Clark sort of thing?
Well, he's just like one of these professional athletes. Tom Brady. See this example where, oh, look, in front of the cameras, he's awesome, but you kind of start to hear.
Yeah, Schultz now bagging on Tom Brady. That Cal Ripken and Tom Brady, they're probably a bunch of racist a-holes is what it is.
Not what I'm saying. I'm saying, Tom Brady, rumors are that he's a D-bag when he's off camera.
I sent Tom Brady a postcard once telling him that he was my favorite player and I wanted to have a catch, and he never said anything back. That guy's an ass. Screw him.
Tom Brady's a D-bag? Well, that's all in the eye of the beholder.
Not according to Schultz. He's a terrible human being.
Is there a D-bag measurement stick or scale?
How does that work? Yeah, like a sliding ruler?
Pull his ass.
That's a good question, actually.
I did see that DeAndre, speaking of, people that aren't necessarily beloved, DeAndre Ayton posted on Instagram a photo of his car leaving his driveway, and he does drive a convertible Aston Martin. So maybe not the best snow vehicle on the planet.
Well, I'm sure he's got more than one car.
Oh, he just posted that, and so of course a lot of people now again dragging him.
That guy can do no wrong.
No right. Yeah.
I will say, if you're going to post a picture of that snow-covered driveway, maybe get a 4x4 in that picture. That would have been the smart move.
No, maybe he's got one car. I don't know. Maybe he's a minimalist. Maybe he just has one Aston Martin. Do you know that he has more than one car? No, Schultz. So here you are making assumptions again about people. Why don't you get on your soapbox and yell about Deominator too?
My wife and I have one car. DeAndre Ayton makes $30 million.
Oh, maybe he's not a car guy.
Deominator? Would you call him Deominator?
That's what he called. He said he was going to deominate, right? Isn't that what he said?
Really?
Yeah, I think that was his thing.
Boy, that's bad.
Well,
What?
Again, I'm not saying he's the most beloved person on the planet.
That's as bad as a Johnny Football nickname.
Hey, Johnny Football was a great nickname. You kidding me?
Well, but then
Johnny Football's hey, Johnny Football.
Who was the next guy? Kenny, whatever. They were like giving him a nickname at Texas A&M before he even took the field. Oh yeah, Kenny Trill. I like that. And then he sucked.
Will the Trill.
We all can't rebrand as Schultz. Some of us just get stuck with what we got.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right, Schultz.
Hey,
just change it up.
I didn't do that myself.
Like you.
That was Spray. He gave that to me. All right, I did not do this for myself.
Yeah,
it was an idea from someone else.
You didn't push that rebrand. Nice try, Schultz. Did you ever have a nickname besides Rop?
Some people called me, still do call me Zach.
Zach?
When I was younger.
Oh, yeah. Isaac.
Isaac.
Okay.
But not really.
Yeah.
Other than derogatory names.
Yeah, but you were just usually just Rop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
So no, some people, I didn't know if you had a,
A lot of people reference my huge hog.
The Salinas scooter. Big D Rop. I don't know. You had a nickname growing up. Nicknames are weird, man. Some they stick forever. Dirt.
Dirt. Was he Dirt before he got here?
I think that. Yeah, I think.
Why is he called Dirt?
I think they told the story once, and I think he just was kind of. Supposedly he was like some sort of
like Linus.
he was like a rough and tumble sort of thing. He was a gritty player. I think that's where that came from, perhaps. They've talked about it.
Well, that's stupid.
Well, he's dirt.
I want a better story than that.
You'll have to ask him. I may be inaccurate on that.
I've never known why they call him dirt.
Yeah, I vaguely remember them talking about it once. But like most of the people here, like Swag, it's just Swagard.
Makes sense.
Sukanik.
Yeah.
Fan Man. Nice, that's different. Dusty gets Fan Man.
What was Dusty's nickname? Do we know?
Dusty Bottoms? I don't know. I don't know if Dusty had one. I don't know. I've never had one. I've always just been Sook.
Well, that's a nickname.
Yeah, but most of the time that's just off of there's a difference between having your last name, Sook, Rop, Schultze, and then being like Bronco. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Lefty something. That's different. Magic Johnson. There's a difference between having that nickname. When I was a kid, my family called me Muck. I was like, that was one. I don't even remember where exactly that came from. They would call me Muck or the Muck. But that was my kid. My kid, Iserman, I called him Mr. Pickles when he was young because I always wanted a monkey.
I bet he didn't like that.
Oh, when he got older, he hated it.
Dude, you got to stop that.
Yes. I want to say when he was about 10 because I always said I wanted a monkey. And if I had a monkey, I was going to name him Mr. Pickles. Are you kidding me? It'd be awesome. So then when he was born,
so you're basically calling your kid a monkey.
Pretty much. And so he was always Pickle or Pickles to me. And then I want to say he was maybe 9 or 10. And he had some friends over the house and just, I was like, hey, Pickle. And he just was like, yeah, it was a death stare. And I was like, no problem, buddy.
Hey,
we're not Mr. Pickles anymore. Sorry about that. We're done.
While we're talking about fan personalities, I'll toss this in here and then we'll get to our Applebee's story. But there's some talk around here at Odyssey Portland that somebody is stealing beer.
Yeah. Ooh,
because we have a bunch of beer sitting in the back from, I don't know, something that we did.
Yeah, well,
some event.
Sometimes we'll have different shindigs and events here, and we end up with an S ton of leftover beer.
So it's sitting back there.
Yeah.
But it's slowly disappearing. And I don't think anyone really cares about that.
No.
Because if they did, they would just check the cameras.
Sure.
And then they could tell who it is.
Yeah.
And we're half expecting to check the cameras, and it's freaking Ryan Buckley coming in.
I'm not going to lie. Buckley hasn't been here in 12 weeks. If I had a wish right now amongst a fan staff, I would love if Buckley was coming in on a Saturday night and loading up some IPAs.
Well, he has been caught stealing before.
That is true. He was caught stealing the engineer's energy drinks.
That's right. And looking around as if very shady on camera.
And he didn't drink it. He put it in his coat pocket and vomited.
Which is even worse.
Well, that was confusing for all of us because when we first moved into the building.
No, it wasn't confusing.
Yes, it was.
No.
What?
Everyone knew what was for consumption and not. There was even a sign on the
after this, yes.
No, there was a sign beforehand from the engineer saying mine.
My energy drink.
Yes.
Okay.
There was no confusion about whose energy drink that was.
Why are you touching my energy drink?
Yeah, show me on the doll. So who's reported the beer theft?
Well, I was talking to Ryan Cooley, who's our sales leader.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it, and they were kind of asking if there's a fan, if one of the fan guys did it,
because
who is it?
We're the vast majority of people in the building.
Yeah, it's most of us. And
I have noticed that when I open the fridge, and I don't know if we're talking about that or stuff on.
I think it's on the side.
Okay, because
cases that are just sitting around.
Because when you open the fridge, there's been an S ton of beer in there.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking to see if there's any seltzer water or whatever, because I'm not going to come in before the show and drink a beer. And it's usually IPA crappy beer. I have noticed though, as I've been opening the fridge, there's less and less of those beers.
So maybe that's what they're talking about. But I think they're talking about more bulk.
People just
style.
taking.
Yeah, which does happen around here. I feel like there's this thing around here where they leave crap lying around.
At a certain point, it becomes whatever.
And then it gets taken.
Yeah.
But they never say don't take it.
Yes.
And I'm not saying it's okay to take it. You should ask. But what do you expect when you leave stuff sitting around? People are going to snake it if it says, if you don't specifically say hands off.
Yeah, if I walk into the back and... Because I don't drink any of the beer that is there. all disgusting to me. But let's say, like, I'm a simple man. If there are 17,000, some of it's ridiculous how many. Like, sometimes there'll be like the energy drinks. There's like 100 cases of energy drinks back there. If there was 100 cases of Rainier beer stacked up, and 3 months had gone by, and not one of those had moved, I can see where I would, on my way out, grab a case of Rainier.
Oh, you're not even a question. Like, you're gonna take stuff. You have to keep. You have to mark stuff clearly, or Suk will take it.
Yeah,
and he will have no problems doing it.
No, none whatsoever.
Me, an upstanding citizen of United States of America, a little different. I'm not going to take something that isn't mine, or I would ask. But in this instance, they were talking about who it could be, and the things you need to know. And so we were kind of spitballing this. Now, the things you need to know are it's like nice craft beer.
Yeah, it's high-end beer, which eliminates me.
It's good. That would eliminate me. Well, I don't drink beer.
Yeah, you're not a beer guy.
I just don't.
What if it was high-end wine? What if it was Silver Oak and Camus back there?
Tell you what, I'd have my eye on it. I'd be asking questions around here like, what's going on with that?
Beer only lasts 3 months, so it's not like it's just going to get skunked if it sits here for too long anyway.
Oh, that sounds like old sticky
sounds like
fingers.
someone that may be taking some beer.
Schultze sticky fingers.
No, I'm very
Schultze.
snooty about my beer. I prefer beer out of the tap. I actually don't really like canned beer as much.
Oh.
So no, I wouldn't waste my time grabbing cans of beer. Just like, no, I'm going to go to the bar.
Oh, okay. So who do you think it is?
Seems a little suspicious. I'm looking. Schultze is it again. I'm assuming it's gonna that sort of beer. I'm kind of thinking it's either Schultze or Swag. They kind of seem like they're both kind of a little highfalutin because it's always some weird cinnamon porter, dark chocolate thing, whatever.
That's disgusting.
There's always like,
that's right out.
There's just always some sort of weird, strange thing. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I can 100% look at. And Schulte's being a little shifty right now. He's shipped like he won't look at us.
No, I'm reading the text line.
I'm thinking it's Schultz, and he's doing he's already doing the well. It only lasts 3 months, then it gets gunky. So I think it's Schultz.
No, I was trying to say that it makes sense that somebody's taking it, not that. Oh well. That's why I probably am going to take it. No.
Well, there's never anybody around here, so it's easy to walk by that and go, maybe I'll just
check the cam. I'm not on it.
So somebody said that, do you have a janitor or a cleaner?
They wouldn't do that.
We do have those. But
they know they're going to get fired. Janitors, and I don't think.
Yeah, you can't. Well, not only that, but this isn't just us in the building. There's multiple suites with different companies,
and everyone.
The building has a cleaning crew.
Yeah.
So they can't.
Well, and cleaning crews, everyone knows that there's cameras in here. So whoever's taking this is doing it with some big D energy, knowing that whatever, I'm taking this. And a cleaning crew wouldn't do that. You're not going to lose your job over a couple cases of beer, I wouldn't think. This is someone that is confident, that knows us, that knows that no one gives a crap or shouldn't about this beer, and it's just, hey, look at Schultz. He's smart. I think it's Schultz. I think Schultze has stolen this beer.
I was just thinking of a previous place I worked where somebody stole a bottle of whiskey, and week after week you just saw the level of the whiskey going down. No, it wasn't me. We have so many beers that are easy to get that are good. So I don't need to.
Somebody asked, don't you have rock jocks there? Do the math. Yeah. We do, but
there's not many.
There's not many. They're usually
we are the vast majority, because if someone's doing this at night, probably we're the vast majority of people that are here as the fan.
I mean,
my guess is
the rock guys.
I'm guessing that the culprit is some sort of fan personality.
Who would it be then? Who would you suspect?
You know who I'm going with, right in there. Look at him.
See, I feel like so this question is from a texter: who is the most entitled? Who thinks of themselves that they've earned this, and so I'm just taking it? Well, that's satanic.
Me, but it's not. But
he's not. Neither of us are big beer guys.
Yeah, I'm ineligible for this. If this was something that I wanted or that I would appreciate, the correct answer 100% is me.
I think it's Swigard.
I can see that.
I'm going to go Swigard.
I can see that. Well, I told you, it's Schultze or Swag. It's one of those two.
Maybe Dirt, but I don't know.
Dirt doesn't go back there enough. I see him walk out the front door. I don't see. When I was here last, we walked out the front door together.
Andrew Nemec is over there. Maybe that son of a bitch is stealing our beer.
I don't think Nemec is confident.
seem like
I don't think he's confident enough. Plus, I don't think he has access to the building. Like, we have to let him in. I don't even think he has a key card yet.
All right. Well, we'll keep you posted. I'll follow up on this with sales tomorrow. See what they're saying about what they've found out. I say just check the tape.
I'm interested. Plus, again, if it was me and you're like, hey, did you take that beer? My response would be like, yeah, I took it. I'm going to come back and take some more.
Ditto.
Well,
I'm not going to hide away from that.
And that's the whole thing is like, it's clearly not a huge issue or else they would be trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But I do think they want to gotcha.
They
want to gotcha the person who did it. And that will be the answer. The answer, it was probably be a fan person.
Yeah.
And it will be like, well, I mean,
one of the best things we've had in this station for years is when we caught Buckley taking that energy drink. I'm sorry. It was amazing. It was. And the look on Buckley's face, because he was pretending like, oh, who could it be? You know damn well who it was, idiot. You know you took it. And yet he was trying to play it up like, oh, I can't wait to see who this is. It's amazing. I would give anything if Buckley was coming in here at night with his privilege and taking free craft beer.
What about Ortner? Is he a candidate? He seems like super cheap ass.
He is super cheap, and he's got no money. He's poor as hell. Huh.
I don't know if he drinks beer, though.
Yeah, he's a beer guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he drinks beer.
He's a beer guy.
He's a candidate.
Interesting. Well, no.
But he's got a lot to lose, though, because I think he's working his way up.
Again, entitlement.
Yeah.
I'm not certain.
He doesn't have it yet.
No, I don't think he has it. You know who does?
Swigard. He's like, what are they going to do? Fire me?
Hey, I've been here for 1,000 years.
And the answer is no, they will not.
No, they will not over this.
He's right.
Shame you. And I don't think Swag can be shamed.
Yeah, he didn't care.
Oh, I think it'll just roll right off his back.
And I would say, if it were me, I would be the same. I'd be like, yeah, that's me. What? I don't care. What are you going to do? Fire me over that? Okay.
Well, how much? We have like 1,000 cases of almond roca around here right now. And
I got my eye on that.
I don't know. I will not take that home.
Those were gifts to sales.
Yeah, but like, why do we have
800 of them?
There are I'm not joking when I tell you that we have several hundred gift bags of almond roca and almond roca products.
Yes.
And while I have not
taken... That means we got them for free.
Yeah, I have not taken any of those home. I will admit that I have opened no less, because this started around the holidays, I've opened no less than 5 separate boxes of almond roca to get 1 or 2 out, and I don't give a F.
I've done that too. Yeah. And again, this is where it's like, if you don't want it taken,
you better put
Why is it sitting back there out in the open?
Yes.
You can't.
Like in a disheveled box, and it's, Yeah,
it's like.
Yeah, it's free. The other day
It seems discarded.
The other day you were eating almond roca popcorn.
Yeah, I stole it from back there.
Hey, this is how bad it is. Instead of just taking some of yours, I was walking in the back and I was like, hey, that almond roca popcorn looked pretty good. And I walked by a brand new bag of almond roca popcorn, opened it, took 2 handfuls, and then left it sitting out and walked back.
Yeah. Well, the one that I was eating out of was already sitting out. So it was probably you.
That's how, but you had yours first. That's how little
no, but it was open. Somebody had opened it.
That's how little I thought of the almond roca popcorn is instead of just having some out of yours, I opened an entire separate bag for 2 handfuls.
All right, well, I'll follow up on this. I'll put it in my notes. I'll make sure to follow up with Cooley on this.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what's...
somebody's going to be caught. And hopefully red-handed.
Well, yeah. Let's go to the security tape. And again, how awesome would it be if it's Schulte? After all the denials, oh, God, it'd be incredible.
Place a bet against me. Let's go, and then let's go check the tape.
Sounds like a guilty person.
Sure.
Hey, I sleep well at night. I want to see the tape.
It's not worth it.
I don't want your hazy IPA, whatever the F that thing is.
100%. I have beer in my fridge that has been in there for years.
Yeah.
I just never drink it. It's sitting in there. If you came over, I'd give it to you. I want you to take it. Like, here, drink it.
It's not good. It's been skunked. Just throw it out.
Really?
3 months, 4 months. That's all you got.
I don't buy that for us.
I don't either.
No, that's Schulte. That's Schulte being Schulte.
Yeah, I'm a snooty beer drinker. Have you had a beer a month after it was like released, and then the Best By date a couple months have passed? You be drinking after that?
I drink Banquet and Rainier. You really think that I'm cracking open a week-old Rainier and being like, now this is the high life?
I'll be honest. I bet if you did a taste test with even beer drinkers, I'm guessing that they could not, and you didn't tell them the expiration or what are you talking about? Are there expiration
date? The expiration.
And you didn't tell them, they wouldn't know the difference.
Bullsh. I bet they would.
You think so?
I think if you pick a beer that, like, I love Mere Pond by Deschutes. If I drank a fresh Mere Pond versus a skunked for a month or two Mere Pond, I bet you I could tell the difference.
Well, I couldn't. I'm not a big enough beer guy.
By the way, I just Googled how long does beer last, and they say a bottle of beer in a
6
refrigerator
years.
is 2 years, and a cellar 2 to 10 years.
Come on, Schultz.
What?
Yeah, right here. 2 years in a fridge, up to 10 years in a cellar.
Yeah, so I'm good. I've got
Get
some
out of
Corona.
here, Schultz.
What?
I'm going to bring you a 2-year-old Corona tomorrow, Schultz, and you're going to love it.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if there's
I'm wrong on this one.
Exactly. I'm gonna see if there's a Miller High Life somewhere in the back of my fridge with your name on it. 3 months. Get out of here.
All right. Applebee's, a subscription is available next on The Fan.
Yeah. The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt.
Love it. Someone whose diet consists of McDonald's, nuggets, and Dutch Brothers coffees think they have a refined enough palate to tell when beer has gone bad.
There's a lot of beer in that diet, too.
They are coming at you, Schultz.
They are. They're coming at me hard. You know what?
And I
That's
can
fine.
tell you that Schultze did have his 64-ounce Dutch Brothers today. Saw that bad boy when we walked
Still
in.
finishing it.
Is that 64 ounces?
I think it's like 40.
God.
But it's coffee and milk. It's literally
Big
cold.
gulp.
It's
Hey,
cold
it's
coffee.
fine. It's a big gulp size. But hey, no skunky beer. Not gonna happen.
Schultze, are you gonna miss us?
Absolutely.
I don't think you are.
I mean, some days.
I tell you what, you're pushing him to the point where
That wasn't me. That was someone on the text line.
if he comes back here pissed off one night, maybe a little drunk on expired beer with a knife or something, you better watch out, dude.
Schultze, you better bring a gun.
You're the first person he's taken out.
Jeez. I mean, I don't think I could get that violent. I'm the fun guy. I'm the fun drunk guy. I like to drink and have fun, and then it's like I'm just like smoking weed. It's like I'm happy. I'm not really like angry drunk guy. So.
Well,
Schultze's new nickname, Sticky Fingers. Good old Schultze Sticky Fingers.
My God.
yeah, like this guy says, you're our favorite beer criminal.
That's right.
Well, thank you guys.
You have an
Number one.
edge, a saucy size.
Ooh, that's a good name for a beer, a saucy IPA. There we go.
All right, you guys want this hot Applebee's news?
Hell yeah, man.
It's big on Applebee's these days.
Maybe I'm looking for. I don't know where I'm eating dinner tonight. Maybe I'll go eating good in the neighborhood. What is that? Fancy like Applebee's. When that crappy song.
Fancy like or something?
Yeah.
Applebee's is offering a year-long subscription for weekly date nights.
No.
Right.
They announced that it's going to sell a limited number of date night passes beginning today, 9 a.m. this morning. They went on sale.
They're limited.
They are sold out. They sold out in minutes.
Well,
And many all over social media are now expressing giant frustration over the limited availability
what I need
of the date night pass.
What is the break this down for me? What am I saving? Am I getting like a 2 for like a BOGO thing? Like, what are my savings?
Applebee's subscription pass includes up to $30 of food and non-alcoholic beverages per use and is valid 52 times between February 1 and January 31, 2025.
All right.
The pass can only be used once per 24-hour period.
Okay, so you get $30. So you get $1,500 worth of Applebee's food. What am I paying for it? Because obviously, like, it can't be. There has to be a massive savings here. Because if it's $30, there's no booze involved. You do that 52, right?
You pay $200.
All right. Well, that's a good deal.
That's what you're paying.
That's a good deal.
The pass does not cover gratuities or taxes. Upon receiving the pass holders can present it to Applebee's servers when ordering. Those placing online orders should enter the 10-character promo code on the back of the pass. The restaurants also let you track your usage through its Club Applebee's loyalty program. Hell yeah.
Okay, the question is, so you're getting $1,500 worth of food for $200. Obviously, that is a screaming deal. And I'm not here to disparage Applebee's. I'm sure you go in the riblets, it's fine. It's like any other TGI McScratchy. It's not any better, not any worse. How long before you can't go to Apple? How many of those?
What do you mean?
So you spend $200 and you have $1,500 to spend at Applebee's, but you have to go. You can't go more than once a week. So literally, if you want the full $1,500, you have to go every week.
The pass can only be used once per 24-hour period.
Oh, once per 24
day.
Okay.
Every other day.
Every other day. So,
how long before you?
How many of those are you actually using?
Well, I think that's their whole point. That's part of their whole point.
It has to be.
Their whole point is like, you ain't going to use that. The other part of it is, even if you're getting $30 per time, you're going to spend more than that.
Yeah.
So they're getting, like, that's a good deal for them. It's a good deal for you.
It can't be that good of a deal because they have a limited amount. I mean, that's a lot of. If someone were to take advantage of that and go every week, that is a lot of.
They're giving them a lot of food.
That's a lot of food for $200.
Yeah, no, it is. Well, it's a $1,300.
Yeah, it's
$1,300 worth of free food.
You're saving it, but then you have to eat $1,300 worth of Applebee's food.
But the things you have to do that they're counting on you not doing is you have to keep it to $30 every time, and you have to use it every freaking week.
Yeah, you go every week. So based on that, Because there is an Applebee's on my house.
But then they're thinking, well, we got you in there every week. You're going to spend more. You're going to buy drinks, you know?
I just wonder how many weeks in a row could I go to Applebee's before I was like,
try it.
I am not going to Applebee's. No. And what would I do if because my gal's she's like Schultze. She's very bougie when it comes to food and beverage. How long before she would become incensed that I'm like, honey, it's date night. You know where we're going. Magda? No. Applebee's. We going to Con? Nope. Applebee's again. Go get some chicken tendies.
Didn't Olive Garden do like a lifetime pasta pass, and then it was like for a month or two they would give you a pasta pass as well? Same thing. You had to go in, but it was only once every 24 hours, and you got a dish. I mean, I think it was like $400 or $500 for that lifetime pasta pass a few years ago, and people can still walk in and use that. So this isn't the worst deal, but not very many people, if more than a handful, end up using this every day. I couldn't do
I'm looking here. I'll do a crispy chicken bacon sandwich here. I'll rock that at Applebee's. I've got a chicken fajita roll up, perhaps. Maybe
There's
some Chipotle sauce.
This text on the Vancouver Ford text line: don't underestimate the amount of people who think Applebee's is a fancy restaurant. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
And I also think for only $200, I think there's a lot of, they're also banking on you, just like you give them the $200 and you never use the damn thing.
That's what
they're
they're banking on.
That's
like,
why people
it's
love
so cheap.
People love gift cards.
Yeah, that it's like, it was only $200. Oh, I should really use that Applebee. Like, there's a difference between thinking you're going to use it and actually using it.
Yeah.
And they know that.
Yeah.
So just give us $200 and, theoretically you'll have $30 worth of free food, but you won't use it.
We'll never see.
They're basically daring you to eat their food.
I kind of like it. I appreciate this. You want to eat at Applebee's? Go ahead. We dare you. We double dog dare you.
It's a great deal if you commit to it.
Yes. Not certain that.
I think I could commit to that.
You could.
I mean, I won't, but I think I could. I mean, they've got enough menu items on there, right?
I'm looking here. I'm looking near what they got, and
the only thing you got to do to make it worth your while is do it what would that be, like 6 times?
Well, I'm looking here, so like
5 times.
Yeah, I'm looking. So like they've got ribs on here.
Ooh.
And
no, 7 times.
Their ribs are $15.99.
So you get that, you get a drink and a.
Well, you can't have a drink. You got to pay for your alcohol.
Okay, you know what? So so if you do this right, you just go appetizer, dinner, and you got your drinks like somewhere else where it's just $1 or $2. Then you're good to go.
Yeah,
you pay the gratuity.
I will say this: I couldn't tell you last time I ate at Applebee's. It is actually quite affordable. Like, I mean, you can get yourself a top sirloin steak that's going to run you $18.50, baby.
Where would you? This is a good question. Somebody asked, if you had to eat at one of those crappy chain restaurants once a week in perpetuity, which one would you choose?
Chili's.
Is that even a thing anymore?
Yeah, they're not here locally. But if I had to eat at the TGI McScratchies, I find Chili's to be the best version of that. Unless you're counting, because I think we've done it, like Cheesecake Factory doesn't count.
See,
right?
I'd do that. I'd do that one.
Are those nicer?
They're nicer than, yeah.
I got food poisoning from Cheesecake Factory. I will never go back.
You'll never eat there again.
Nor will I ever eat polenta again. So no thanks.
Outback?
Yes, that's high on my list.
Outback would be close. I would consider Outback.
Like it's between Outback and Red Robin for me. If I had to pick one every week. You don't like Red Robin?
No. I think it's awful.
My mom used to work at Red Robin.
Well, I mean, they're all awful.
She did the books for the Salem, Oregon location back in 20 years ago when I was a kid. She would bring home free burgers.
You're a Red Robin homer.
Duh.
That place is terrible.
Oh, whatever. You're terrible.
Like I said, of the power ranking, if you said, let's go out to eat, the ones where I wouldn't immediately roll my eyes and be like, get out of here. Cheesecake Factory. And then we would do it in the parking lot. Chili's. I get some Southwestern egg rolls and some chicken tendies. I got no issue with Chili's. And then I'd go 3. I'd go eat like a shrimp fest at Red Lobster. The little Cheddar Bay biscuits with some clam chowder and some coconut shrimp. You get me in Red. Can you really screw up shrimp? I'm going Red Lobster. And those biscuits are delightful. The Cheddar Bay biscuits with a.
See, I'm going Outback over Red Lobster.
All right, the bloomin' onions.
The bloomin' onion. No rules, just right. I don't know. I don't know what it is about Red Lobster. It's foul.
My mom was like for my family loved these sorts of places for like birthdays, and like my mom's would go to Red Lobster. That's where she wanted to go for like Shrimp Fest. So maybe there's just like there's like a hint of that for me, where I just remember those fond times. Like go like McGrath's. That's a better version. It's a better version of Red Lobster.
McGrath's. Yeah, see, that's higher.
That's a higher.
Yeah, like Newport, McGrath's, the local places. Yeah, that's
those aren't TGI McScratchies.
If you count Cheesecake Factory,
that's got to be number one.
But I think everyone would choose that, so that's why we need to throw that one out.
It's eliminated, so I got to pick a different one.
Yeah, Applebee's is close. I mean, they got a lot. I'm looking for variety.
I think, then it probably Applebee's. Although, like, I would be inclined if you took out Cheesecake Factory and I had to pick one of those, I might go with the Olive Garden. Like, again, I got some breadsticks.
I've worked at the Olive Garden.
I've got some soup.
You have Olive Garden tales?
I would not recommend going to eat at the Olive Garden. Yes, I've got many Olive Garden
any
tales.
of these things.
This was not in this state. This was where my wife is from, back in Massachusetts. But the month and a half that I worked at that Olive Garden in the town where she grew up in, the manager on my last day there, we had a bunch of breaded chicken cutlets fall on the freezer floor. Just like, should I throw these away? Nah, pick them up, Jordan. Pick them up.
See, Schultze, here's what you're doing.
Like,
that's not an Olive Garden thing.
Not.
That's a making $17.50 an hour. That's not any indictment on the Olive Garden. That's on the people that were working. And I'm here to tell you
that happens at Applebee's too.
That happens everywhere. Because again, the manager in the back that's making $26 an hour, he doesn't care any more than the guy that's making $17.50 an hour.
Oh, yeah. I did get asked by my GM there, you know why I haven't promoted you yet to server, Jordan? I'm like, what? Excuse me?
It's Schultze, please. Thank you.
Yeah. No thanks. No OG for me.
I also like that Schultze bags
Wait,
on.
why did he not promote you?
Yeah, what do we got?
Oh, well, so
How
I
come
worked...
you didn't finish the story?
Oh, my bad. So I worked as the takeout guy, which was actually an hourly paid job. I think I got like $11 an hour, whatever crappy wage it was. But the servers in Massachusetts get paid basically by tips, and they have to make under $2 an hour.
Yeah.
So when he comes to me, he says like, you know why I haven't promoted you to server? It's like, yeah, because I don't want to be a server, because it's a step down, and I'll just make guaranteed money coming in every day. No, I'm good. Thanks, you jerk.
Oh. Wow.
I love, too, that Schultze
should write a book.
Schultze wants nothing to do with Olive Garden, but you know where he loves to eat? McDonald's.
There's a difference.
Yeah, Olive Garden's a lot better, Schultze.
They're all crap, but...
I disagree.
Really?
I'm not saying they're all crap. He's saying Olive Garden is better than McDonald's. I'm saying I disagree with that. Sorry. I was just a little late.
Your refined palate.
I have no refined anything, but if you had to power rank like top cheeseburgers in the country, a double cheeseburger by McDonald's has to be in the top 10. And I'm sorry, there's no dish from the Olive Garden that's in the top 10 anything.
Schultze. Oh, my God.
I'm gonna Google this right now.
A top 10 burger. And you just said a double cheeseburger at McDonald's is in the top 10. That's of all the hottie takes that you've ever given in your time with us. That truly is amazing. That you just dropped a top 10 burger in the country, McDonald's.
What? It's a staple. You can find it anywhere, and it's the same.
Yeah, it's sure is good. You may be onto something with the Outback. You may be onto something with the Outback Steakhouse, Rob.
Fire Buckley.
Schultze and his McDonald's. I would never eat at the Olive Garden. That place is a cesspool. Honey, I'm going to go pick up some nuggies and a double cheeseburger at McDonald's tonight. It's going to be fine eating, and then I'm going to wash it down with some fresh IPAs and a 64-ounce Dutch Brothers milkshake.
Hey, we all love nuggies. We all don't love crappy pasta, okay?
I disagree. I could eat crappy pasta. I do not. Get out of here with your gross chicken liver nuggets. Those
You're the one that's
so gross.
You stopped at McDonald's driving from San Diego back to Portland.
But I don't order chicken nuggets. I do like their burgers.
So you're telling me that if you went to Olive Garden and got their lasagna You're telling me that a double cheeseburger from McDonald's that has probably been sitting there for 3 weeks, that there's a good chance that one of my kids took out, dropped on the floor 9 times, and then defrosted and heated up in a microwave. You're telling me that is more appealing to you than eating a chicken parm or a lasagna from the Olive Garden?
Chicken parm? No, I would eat a chicken parm over a burger. But lasagna, yeah, I'd eat a burger over lasagna any day.
I'm not saying a burger, Schultz. I'm saying a McDonald's.
Same answer.
Top 10. What if I told, like,
Top 10.
This would be hilarious. Somebody comes to town and they visit, and they're like, Rob, we want to try some good food.
Hey, Portland's a food city.
Portland's a food city. I've got you covered. I am going to go right now. I will be back in 20 minutes, and I am going to bring back a top 10 burger in the United States.
Going to Tilt? Where are you going? Stanish's when they were open?
I mean, this guy's mouth is going to be salivating. The look on his face when I toss a double cheeseburger from McDonald's in front of him. Yeah, can't get that anywhere else. No.
You going up to the Helvetia Tavern? No. I don't need to drive out that far. There's one right around the corner.
I hate to end this, guys. We are like 2 breaks behind.
Right. Here's Schultz. Wait, are we going to Sports Center? Or are we going to?
No,
Schultz's?
we're going to Sports Center.
Yeah. All right. Here he is. Here's Jordan. Here he is.
Now, from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction. Check out their award-winning outdoor living designs or schedule your free design consultation at vulcandc.com. First on The Fan, NFL Network reporting that the Tennessee Titans are working to finalize a deal with Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan to be their next head coach. Elsewhere, the Panthers announcing today they're promoting assistant GM Dan Morgan to be their next full-time general manager. He's been in Carolina since 2021, as well as spending time in Seattle and Buffalo as the director of player personnel. NFL Network reporting also that the Lions are signing tight end Zach Ertz to their practice squad. They do plan to elevate him to their active roster for Sunday's game against the 49ers. That's, of course, after Brock Wright injured his forearm in yesterday's win over Tampa Bay. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultz from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk. The pro football playoffs are here. Watch and wager on every game at Spirit Mountain Casino. Visit spiritmountain.com.
One number does it all for contests and texting your favorite fan shows. The Vancouver Ford text line is 503-864-6FAN.
Aloha, Portland.
The top 3 is going to be Taco Bell. Schultzy.
Shut up. It's all about the consistency. I can get a McDonald's burger anywhere in the U.S. I can only get like another good
top 10.
restaurant
Top 10,
burger.
baby. Top 10.
All right. Maybe I should have said fast food burgers. I apologize.
It's not making that either, but all right.
What?
Keep going.
Oh, you're so. Oh, no, we don't have time.
Uh-oh,
We're
now you
done. We
pissed
don't
him
even
off.
have time.
I've attacked McDonald's.
Yeah, don't fire him up. This is a man that is passionate about his McDonald's burgers.
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, we're way over. We butchered the clock.
You know what? Let's just leave.
I think we have one more segment. I don't think we're allowed to.
Oh, Andrew Nemec's coming up next, though.
Talking about recruiting.
Recruiting, yep. We'll be right back to wrap it up on The Fan.
Victoricos features fresh, authentic Mexican food made from